It's Clobberin time!
Atomic batteries to power. Turbines to speed.
Roger. Ready to move out.
Clobberin time! Clobberonimo!
Come get some.
It's Clobberin time!
The word is given.
Clobberonimo!
Yeah. Clobberonimo indeed. Clobberonimo indeed, my friend. Welcome. Greetings, my dear friends and colleagues. Those who clobber, the clobberers, the clobberonimos, the clobberoids, the clobberoosies, the clobberarians, clobologists, those, all those who clobber. And if you do not yet clobber, hey, maybe one day you will as soon as you learn to bang the rocks together, guys. Welcome. This is Clobberin Times. Issue number 489 on YouTube. 1,489 over the past 15 plus years. And it is, of course, Monday night, Mark C. Comics Talk. And for once, we have a very last minute topic. We have some beeswax to discuss tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Sans the ladies, but who knows? Maybe ladies will show up. We hope. All right. Well, let's see here. Show notes and shout outs, and then we'll just get a move on. First, a big shout out to the great J-Man and Sean. Had a fantastic time, as always, on 3 of the Mondays of the month. Tonight, reviews of Legion of Superheroes, which we've done for a long time, because we're going to do it all that matters anyway. And what matters when it comes to the Legion? Who makes that call? I do. Me. Globby decides what Legion lives or dies. And we're started, of course, in 1959 with the beginning of the Legion of Superheroes, Adventure Comics 247. And we will continue from the beginning. That was silver. We're going to go all the way to the end of the Bronze Age in 1989. And so we got a good ways to go, but I'm so happy tonight. We had a great time because we just got into that era that I truly love. My favorite, the sweet spot beginning for the Legion. Tonight we started with we got to the last of our 4. We did 4 issues tonight because there were some backups. We'll go back to 3 issues a month. But anyway, neither here nor there, because you're not all Legion fans, I know, but we had a great time, and it's just a lot of fun reviewing the Legion. As for the rest of the week, I'll be hanging out, of course, with all of my usual spots, Tuesdays and Thursday nights at the Great Midnight Edge After Dark with the extraordinary Tom Connors and that august group. Let's see. Wednesday nights, when he has them, the Great Stone Loki's comic book roundtable at 7 Central. And as for my show, my own shows here on Clobberin Times, In addition to tonight's Monday Night Mark C Comics Talk, we have our Wild Card Wednesday night, which, of course, is oddly enough on Wednesday nights. And then, of course, we have Clobby's Clubhouse with my wonderful First Officer Number 1, Commander R.M. Briggs, and, of course, the great Mark D with a CR Chief Engineer. That is Blake 7 review episode, Kolchak the Night Stalker review episode, and the Star Trek Unlimited comic ECU, all reviewed, and much, much more geekiness on the Clubhouse. And then on Fridays, on a couple of other friends' channels, back to J-Man's channel again, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, where we will resume Fantastic Fridays, continuing reviewing the legendary King of Comics seminal run on the world's greatest comic magazine, Fantastic Four 1 through 102, annuals 1 through 6. That is 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Friday night for Fantastic Fridays on J-Man's channel with Sean and myself. And then, of course, the great 32 Flavors of Nick Weiser for some comic shop talk after that, 8:30 Central on my buddy Nick's channel with the Friday Night Comic Shop. Boys, this week, we resume our reviews of Amazing Spider-Man 45 through 48, I think it is, with the great D. Bud Martin joining us. Very soon, pretty soon, I'll be doing my show. Not yet sure exactly when, but ranking all of the Star Trek Original Series episodes. And, of course, Saturday Night Star Trek. Every Saturday night, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Same Trek time, same Clubby channel. This week, 4 more scintillating episodes of Star Trek Voyager. And then, of course, ending the weekend geek as we did last night, and as we will do again. Actually, no Sunday night geekery this coming Sunday night, I think. But it'll be back the week after that. So I think Mark said we're not doing it next week because he will be out of town. So never mind. So yeah, that's the shout out, the show notes. Now for some shout outs, I'll shout our wrenches out, then I'll get over to the chat and shout you wonderful friends out. Clobberers and Clobberanimos. The great Eric K, the Bronze Wrencher. Vindicator Wrench of the Great White North, Chris Persia. D. Bard Martin, the Wrench of Iron. Lord Thoth, God of the Wrenches. Avon lives. Long live the Legion, buddy. The aforementioned great Wrench Without Fear, J-Man. Fantastic Legionnaire Reviewer Extraordinaire, Partner in Crime on Earth B, which will be next Monday night. Will be J-Man and I, the B Monday of every month. We go to Earth B, Bob Patey. Our own music Meister, Maximum Redstone, Master of the Limerick. The rascally wrench himself, Fanty Outsidery. Our triple bullwinkle wrench, Larry. And, of course, the great Maddie's daddy and Kal-El, the super wrench. All right, let's see who is up and here with us in the chat tonight. Let me run my chat back so we can say hello to everybody. Could not be reached for further comment. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. Oh, FKHC 2005 was here first. Tim, what's up, buddy? Let's see. Brian Hepburn, what is up, my friend? Grim, hello there. Grim, what's up, man? Dave C, what's up, buddy? The great 1701 Tex, yo, brother. Sorry about the commercials, things that happen. I watch videos and I have to deal with them as well. I can't get away from them on YouTube unless you get that stupid premium thing. They suck, I know. Captain Notfinity and Beyond. What's up, buddy? Penny, hello there, Penny. Good to see you, my dear. Parker Luck. All right, my friend Parker. Good to see you. Jack's Mama. Hello, my dear. Of course, from the family of our beloved, dear departed comrade, never forgotten, the great Mark C, whom the show will be named after in perpetuity for Monday Night Mark C Comics Talk. Jack's Mama, it is so good to see you, my dear. I hope you are doing well. It is lovely to see you. I hope things are going well for you and your wonderful family. Mark is never forgotten here. We love him, and I miss him very much. Your Muslim uncle, peace be on you, my friend. Have gone world travel, buddy. Let's see. Oh, wow. Jack will be 15 this week. Oh, my goodness. That is hard to believe. He's growing up fast, I'll bet you. And, of course, Jack being the son of our dear departed friend, Mark C. Joe Dog. What's up, Joe Dog? Good to see you, buddy. And I believe that is everyone. I think so anyway. All right. Well, what is going on in the news out there? As if you didn't know. Usually I just do open comic book geek talk, but unless something pops into the news that I care to, because I don't comment on modern crap that much, but I have some things to say about this one. I think you all know what it is. Look, we all know that Mr. James Gunn is working on a movie to be released next year about, another Superman film. Ho hum. But you all know how protective I am of Superman, how much I love Superman, how much of this channel is so often devoted to Superman. I celebrate his birthday every February. Talk about him all the time. I love Superman. I love Superboy. So even still, as jaded as I am about horrible Hollywood and all that kind of crap, I would love to see a great Superman, halfway decent Superman movie at this point. Not that I think we're ever going to get one. Don't get me wrong. I'm not that naive. But I have liked, reservedly so, I've liked some things that James Gunn has done. But when I heard he was getting in control of DC movies, I have no faith. Not one bit of faith. If you've been listening to me, you know, I neither have any faith in James Gunn, nor do I think, am I opposed to him giving it a shot? In other words, I was thinking, look, if he does make something good, I'll be first to praise him. If he whatever he makes, I'll watch it. Look, I sat through the Snyder trash, as horrible as it is, and so if I'll sit through that, I'll sit through anything. And if they prove me wrong and they turn out to change my mind and make something good, then hey, okay. Yeah, New Who. Well, New Who breaks everybody's law, buddy. Captain Infinity. New Who is filthy trash. That show's so dead they can do whatever they want. They can New Who is broken, so it's a zombie at this point. It's a gross, anachronistic caricature of itself. Ravenscroft, what's up, buddy? Larry. So whatever New Who does, I might be sadistic enough to watch the first one to see how horrible it is, but I might not even do that. So whatever they do, they can go straight to hell. It's horrible, don't get me wrong, but Doctor Who was destroyed for me a long time ago. So there's nothing they can do to surprise me or shock me. And there's certainly nothing they can do to get me to care about him anymore. So, Adrian James. So James Gunn, like I said, I have no confidence that this movie is going to be any good. But like I said, I'm open to change my mind. But you got to, here's the thing. Back when Man of Steel first, about a year before the piece of garbage Hack Snyder's Man of Steel from 2013 was released, I was doing a show. It was just on Blog Talk Radio, and I had a Facebook group there called, which I still have, called Clobberin Times Baxter Building Basement. Yes, I saw the thing where she steps on the butterfly. Like I said, Ray Bradbury is turning over in his grave. And you know what? Ray Bradbury maybe have passed away, but he exists more than that crap ever will. He still exists. Rose doesn't. Ruby Rose doesn't exist, and Doctor Who doesn't even exist anymore as a show. It's a non-entity. So back when they first announced Man of Steel, it was around 2011, actually, and it came out in 2013. Over the course of the next couple of years before they released it, that the idiots, Hack Snyder and others, would release pictures and things and photos and different things from the set. And those of us who were interested in that sort of thing, pro or con, would comment on it. The thing is, if you were one of the sycophants, and you said, "Oh man, seen it yet," but you could say that. If you said, "Gee, it looks kind of shitty," well, you haven't even seen the movie yet, so shut up. Oh, if you think it looks good, you can say it, but if you don't think it looks good, shut up, suck it. To that I say. So, now of course that was even in the early, where social media was still in the early stages of compared to what it is now. It was around, of course, but now social media is even far more instantaneous, and I can only imagine what would be happening to Hack Snyder's today if Man of Steel was just coming out now with this level of social media. So James Gunn put out a picture, for the movie with the actor David Corenswet, who's playing Superman. But the first look at the costume. The actor looks, he looks fine in pictures we've seen earlier. So you probably already seen this already yet, but I'm going to put it up here anyway. Let's forget about what's wrong with the costume itself for a second. What's spectacular about Superman sitting down on a chair, putting on his boots? Not, just you could have just show him making a pose, or just standing there in the damn costume, whether it sucks or not. He's putting on his boot. Not a good look, James. It's nothing spectacular. But now let's go to the costume. It's again dark. It's not as dark a palette as the Man of Steel costume, but it's still not bright enough. It's not bright colors. It's a glum look. Got that stupid collar. The S is not right, of course. And what I tell you, yes, they've got the trunks, but it doesn't matter. I mean, I would be glad they have the trunks if the rest of the costume looked good. This looks like dog shit. And why it looks like dog shit to me, you might disagree, but I don't like all the raised ridges, and I mean, it's too complicated. And you know who really started this shit? Hey, Penny, you're right. It does. Looks like Kirk from that episode called Wink of an Eye, where he's putting his boots on. Good call. And some people are liking this. It's not all that it's nothing heroic about sitting there putting your boots on. We never see Superman put his boots on. He just puts the costume on at light speed, right? Boom. But James Gunn is an imbecile. And so, in a classic, one of these things is not like the other. I mean, that's just a production shot of Christopher Reeve in the proper costume when it looks best. It's not rigid and rubbery and dark palette or any of that kind of horse shit. And he's not putting his boots on. He's just standing there, and again, it's a production pose. He's not, again, at least let the guy just stand there in the costume, even if it sucks. I don't understand why people are reading into the picture as if he's like, "Oh God, here we go again." Well, I'm not sure exactly what you mean, your Muslim uncle. You say, I don't understand why people are reading into the picture as if he's like, "Oh God, here we go again." I don't know. I just think it's not a very spectacular picture. There's been no Superman on the big screen since Christopher Reeve. Agreed. Agreed, Tex. So, a little bit about the Superman costume. In my take on Superman and the costume. Superman, there's the reason why Superman is referred to as the first superhero. Superman is not, in point of fact, the first superpowered being of a heroic nature in fiction. Not even close. He's not the first costumed crime fighter in fiction. A little closer there but there were a few. What he is the first superhero, because the first superhero means the first superpowered being that put on a costume as a symbol and refer with superpowers. And it just so happens it's a happy accident that his name is Superman. He could have been called Flying Guy or Strong Guy, but if he had superpowers on a costume, that guy would be first. If you see what I'm saying. Yes, there are costumed heroes that predate him, but not with superpowers. There are superpowered beings that predate him, but not with costumes. And Batman, actually, Joe Dog, Batman's not the first costume crime fighter. You can really go back to Zorro. You can go to the Shadow. You can go Green Hornet, the Phantom. All those guys predate Batman. Lone Ranger's not sort of a costume. So, but Superman is the first superhero. Superpowers and a costume as his symbol, based upon the Circus Strongman costume, is where Siegel and Schuster based it. Did they intend to create a superhero? Yes, a superpowered one. Did they know it would stick? That would be called, they took the name Superman from something else, of course. But, so he's superhero numero uno. His costume is a symbol. And if you look at the first 60 some odd years of Superman, there have been there have been tweaks over the years to the costumes, of course. Tweaks. Little ones here and there. Some I didn't like much, some were okay and acceptable. And then, as far as media, once in a while, like they did stupid shit, like they would change his cape up a little bit. After that terrible Death of Superman garbage, they had the Reign of the Superman, where there was the black costume. You had that the Ice Capade Superman, where there was the electric Superman crap and all this other nonsense. But for the most part, even look, Lois and Clark, I didn't like the show like a lot of people did. It was kind of at least the costume design was right. I didn't like the color much, but still, there have been variances and tweaks. And then along comes idiot Bryan Singer for a terrible piece of garbage movie called Superman Returns. And he darkened the palette. He made the S was tiny. Yes, he had the trunks and stuff. He had these little micro S's that are all over the costume. And we all hated it. I remember bitching about it big time back then. Now, it would get worse, but that was bad. Then they were fighting with the Siegel and Schusters, but it's like the Siegel family. And some people say they varied it up a little bit because they were having problems with them, but that's DC's fault. And that's Warner freaking fault. So along comes the Screw 52. As far as comic books are concerned. And they change the costume up. They get rid of the trunks. They give this stupid ass collar. They make it look armory. And then you get Man of Steel by Hack Snyder, which is similar, like a sort of an amalgam of the Superman Returns and the Screw 52 outfit. It didn't have a collar, but it had this horrible dark palette, that crappy S, no trunks, looked like a body condom. I mean, Henry Cavill, good actor and all that stuff. It wasn't his fault he was cast by an idiot. And it was in a movie directed by an idiot. Adrian James says this doesn't mean the movie is going to be bad. To me, it does, Adrian, because fundamentally, superheroes are visual, none more than Superman. And if you can't get the costume right, I don't really care what you do. Because every single scene that Christopher Reeve is in, even in, look, I have a lot of problems with Superman 2 and 3 and 4. In every scene he's in, he's still Superman, even in one of those shitty lesser stories like Superman 2, 3, or 4. And some people like him, some people very agrees. This guarantees it's bad for me. Again, Adrian, you might, if you're different on that, that's cool. Everyone has entitled their opinion. So I'm only speaking for myself. If you think it's not a deal breaker for you, that's cool. I appreciate your opinion. Hey, Jay, man, what's up, bro? But for me, it is a deal breaker. I mean, look, don't get me wrong, Adrian. I'll still watch the thing once. I'm not saying that. And if I watch it and if the movie's not that bad, I'm still going to be aggravated by the costume. Because why can't you get the costume right? This costume is terrible to me. Now, we might see more down the road where it looks a little bit better, but you still have all those raised points on the costume, they look all complicated, and you've got the I don't know, the raising, or I don't know what like the edges and the ripples and all that kind of crap. It's a deal breaker for Jay, man. Like I said, it's an individual thing. If it's a deal breaker for you, fine. If it's not, fine. It's a deal breaker for me. I mean, I'll sit and watch the stupid thing, but I don't know. I mean, I sat through Man of Steel, so I'll watch any garbage. Clearly, I'm not smart enough to stay away from anything. But I didn't have any faith in Gunn. And I liked the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. I didn't have any faith in him, but I was not down on him either so much. I was willing to give him a chance. And if his costume, look, it didn't have to be exactly like Reeves' costume. It didn't have to be the Christopher Reeve costume. It had to be damn close, though, or it was just going to be no. It really should be this. There's no reason you can't do this right now. What they got right there. Somehow they think this is realistic, that he's got all these grooves and raises and the different S's suck. That S sucks. I don't mind that S with the black marks on it for the Kingdom Come costume, but I can't stand it for this. It's poo-poo. So, again, I only speak for myself. Everyone else can, like what, if you're still pumped up about the movie, great. I mean, look, it's a long way away. Some things might change, but this, I don't know. But I'm only, as far as him, look, it almost shows a lot of the mentality that we're looking at here, because not only does he have a costume that I'm not too thrilled with, he's not even showing you the whole thing. This is the very early stages of filming. I understand that. But just show him standing there. Him sitting there. What kind of dickhead director wants the most spectacular superhero of all time, the granddaddy of them all, making a movie about him, and you don't just show him in a standing up in the costume looking like, well, look at Christopher Reeve right there. That was actually, production shots showing people how cool he looks in the costume. Why don't you just do that? Have him standing there, letting him pose in the costume. But you can't even do that. Even if it sucked, I'd have some respect for that. Superman sitting there. You might think it's no big deal and I'm blowing it out of proportion. Superman sitting there putting a boot on. Just get out of here with that. It's so James Gunn. He thinks he's so different and edgy. He thinks that's artistic or something. I guarantee you he's so freaking pretentious. He thinks that's cool or something. With the dude sitting there. And I got nothing against this actor. Brian Hepburn says, my son doesn't care for it. He likes Tyler Hoechlin's suit more than Cavill's. I don't like Tyler's at all myself, Brian. But I'm a lot older, of course. Except the one he had for like 10 seconds in the very first episode of that show, the Golden Age with the Golden Age look. That was beautiful. But after that, it turns out I hated his costume. And yeah, that's a true story about that, Parker. So, you know what? I just don't. I'm not saying, look, I know it's a year out. People say you shouldn't judge the movie. I'm telling you, there are a lot of things you could have showed that wouldn't have made me judge the film or him. But the costume is so crucial to Superman. It's really crucial to Batman and others too. Because if you're showing me you don't respect the costume, that means you don't respect the character. And the character, look, more than anything else, a superhero's costume is part of the image and the symbol of the character. Superman is a symbol. If you don't get the costume close or right, as close as you can get to what is iconic, and this is as iconic as it gets when it comes to superhero costumes, that shows me that you don't really respect the character. I know he thinks he's being all modern-y and shit like that, because look, the Marvel movies are guilty of this too. The Marvel movies, they don't get the costumes exactly right, and it aggravates me. But they're not as iconic as Superman's costume. For example, I love Captain America the Winter Soldier. He never has the exact costume. Ironhide 84. But Cap had a lot of variances in his costume later. I knew we weren't going to get the classic Kirby costume, so it's always a little bit of mental work for me to just sit back and watch those movies. But they are really good movies. Agreed, Joe Dog. Sam Raimi, for the most part, got the Spider-Man costume pretty close. I mean, that's as close as you could ask for a movie. It varies from character to character, admitted. For example, they've never gotten the Batman costume right in the live action movie, unless you count Batman 66. It's like, never, not once, not ever. They never will. Even if the movie was decent, they're like, that's just a movie crap. I know they're going, oh, it's like comics. It's so. Here's another thing. Look, people say, oh, you just want it to be like comics. Screw you. Look, what do you care what I want? I'm not going to get what I want anyway. So what are you whining about? Hey there, JD Lewis. What are you whining about? If I and a few other people say we want to see it comic book accurate, don't worry. You've already won. If you don't want it to be comic book accurate, you don't care. You've won that fight. You win 99.9% of the time. You're going to get what you want. And those of us who would like to see it look like the comics ain't going to get it. It ain't going to happen. So congratulations, you win. I love the Daredevil TV show. That costume, which took him 13 episodes to put him in a red costume at least. I put up with it because at least it's red at some point. It's never right. It just makes the show passable. But it's never like I want it. I can only think of one time. Let's see. I'm going to name you the times comic book related movies. It's good to see you, JD Lewis. I'm going to name you, and I could cut one of my hands off and I'd have enough fingers to count it. How many times a comic book movie has gotten the costume perfect for me? Perfect to really, really close. I'm going to give you those right now. Let's see if I can do it. You're looking at one right there on the left-hand side there. Christopher Reeve Superman. That is, he just popped up the comic book page. I'll leave the Adam West out, even though it was a TV show and there was a movie. It was based on a certain look that Batman had in the comics at the time. They actually kind of shifted the look to match the TV show. I'll leave that out and just go with other stuff. We'll go after 1978. How about that? After 1978, let me name you the times. Yep, Linda Carter is a good one there. Okay, we'll go before 78. Ravenscroft, Linda Carter, Wonder Woman outfit's pretty damn right there. Christopher Reeve. See how many I can name. Let me see how many I can name. I'm going by just my preference. The Rocketeer. Perfect. By the way, I'm not even going to use perfection as a metric. I'm just going to say acceptable. I'm going to go from perfect to acceptable. Christopher Reeve and Linda Carter, and yes, Adam West. With as far as a certain era Batman. The Phantom. Thank you, Texas. That was going to be my next one. The Phantom. Perfect. Let me see. And look, I'll settle for acceptable. Raimi Spider-Man, whether you like those movies or not, the first two, pretty damn close to, if not perfect, certainly acceptable. There you go, J-Man, Rorschach. Perfect. I don't know about Return to the Swamp Thing. Wasn't that bad, J-Man. It looked okay, yeah. The Rocketeer, like I say, fantastic. Phantom, fantastic. Okay, so that's at least a handful right there. Let's see if we can get some other ones. Hey, Apollome's Minion. Ironhide says Alec Baldwin's shadow outfit looked was close to the Pulp's. I didn't think he looked that bad, but you could never really see him. I don't like the movie, but yeah, I haven't watched that movie in so long. Ironhide, I got to be honest with you, I'm not so sure. But hey, Doc, and of course, he's not a comic book character, really. I mean, he's been in comics, but technically, the Shadow's not a comic book character. So, I mean, no, that's ticky tack. That's a ticky tack on my part. Doc Savage, Ron Ely looked cool as Doc Savage, but I mean, he's, again, that's kind of not really he's not a comic book character first. So let's see. Okay, like I said, the Raimi Spider-Man costume in the first two movies was pretty damn nice. Let's see. Hey, Doc Fortune. Yep, that Doc Fortune has a good one. Hellboy, and I wasn't the biggest Hellboy comic fan, but it was okay. He was pretty cool, and he looked. Yeah, again, it was acceptable works for me. All right, but yeah, so good one. Let's see. Thor was okay when he had his helmet for the first 2 minutes in the first Thor movie, and it still wasn't that comic book accurate, but it was close. Captain America, barely borderline acceptable as a costume. He's great, and the movies are great, so I love him. So if the movies are great, it'll go a long way for the kind of excusing them a little bit. Let's see here. Iron Man was okay because he had multiple iron armors, and for the most part, some look better than others. So I'm going to give Iron Man an okay because he was pretty close. He looks really good in a lot of them. Oh yeah, J-Man, yeah. Gwagnar, what's up, buddy? There you go. Gwag's the man. Jackson Bostwick, or I think John Davey also as Captain Marvel on the Shazam TV series. Yep. Oh yeah. Buster Crabbe on the Flash Gordon serials. There you go. Yeah, J.D. Lewis, I would say Doctor Strange was acceptable because of the cloak. Acceptable, not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but enough. He was enough, right? Let me see. Who else was enough for acceptable? Goes a long way with movies, considering how much these people don't give a shit, right? Daredevil was only borderline okay in the series because the series itself was so good. Let's see. I'm running out of ones that worked. I mean, Ant-Man sort of looked okay in a couple in the first movie, I guess. Black Panther, nah. He looked okay, borderline acceptable, but he didn't really look like totally the comic, but he looked close enough. Hawkeye didn't look good at all. So basically what I'm saying is I stick to my 90% of the time. They don't look very good. Even in a decent movie, sometimes they don't look very good. Even if the movie's okay, they're like, eh. So the movie has to be a lot better if the costume sucks. Well, Black Widow, I don't think it's much like the comic book one at all. Ironhide. I mean, she's great. She looks cute, great, but yeah, it's not even really close to the comic book look. I mean, all like her anyway, so it doesn't matter much. But yeah, I wouldn't say she's that close. But hell, Batman never works. Batman, I mean, for movie versions, it's not always terrible, but it's not comic. It's not comic book. It's barely comic book acceptable ever, except in one of those fan films, Dead End. That was great. And the story was stupid in that. Man, that was one of the biggest wastes, really. Yeah, there you go, JD Lewis. Ant-Man from Saturday Night Live was, I is Ant-Man. So, look, this is no shade on the actor. Davis Cornsweet may be good in the movie. I don't know. But if I were him, I'd be like, you sure you guys want to take a picture of me putting my boot on? It's kind of lame, isn't it? And silly. There's nothing heroic about this. I mean, we never see Superman put his boots on because he's moving at, super speed, putting his damn costume on. Is James Gunn planning a joke where Superman is having trouble putting his boot on? Oliver Belamonte says, Clobby, how about the 1994 unreleased? No, I thought I didn't like those costumes at all, personally, Oliver. But I hate those costumes anyway. Okay, Gwag makes a good point. Judge Dredd, Stallone, to me, I thought was terribly miscast, but his costume was pretty good. And Carl Urban, a movie that I think is overrated, the one called Dredd, his face looks great, and his costume's okay. So all that given, and there may be some other ones you guys can come up with, I'm going to say that I'm sticking by my over 90 to some odd or more percent that usually they're not even acceptable. That's how cosplayers get it right far more often than stupid ass Hollywood. How many times have you been to a con or looked at pictures from a con online and saw a cosplayer nailing it with a superhero or a supervillain or whatever, and you go, holy shit, Hollywood can't do that. They won't, or they refuse to. Yeah, J-Man 95 is I think that's fair. Yeah. I mean, definitely over 90, so I'm with you. How many times have you seen a cosplay that looks so damn cool? Robin Williams one wasn't too bad there. Could not be reached. I hear you. Yeah, Deadpool is another one. Deadpool's so easy to do, though. Oh, Colossus in the Deadpool movies look pretty good. What's up, dude? Look who's here. Everybody.
Hey, how's it going? You left out the Incredible Hulk in terms of a
the
good
TV show.
Yeah, well, the Hulk always looked good, right?
He was green. Yeah, I mean Hulk in the movie.
But joking, being a wise
no,
guy,
he was. No, it's fair enough.
Yeah,
and even in the movies, he looked good. In the movies, Hulk looked pretty good.
Yeah, and I'm
still contending that 90% or more.
Yeah, most of them. I agree with you. Yeah, I'm just being a wise guy. But in Spider-Man,
I wish I'd have thought of that because Hulk does look good in the movies.
And Spider-Man and the TV show, the CBS miniseries.
No, they didn't have a budget.
They never, but I thought they tried though. The spirit was there. They were definitely trying to replicate the costume. It wasn't as a
you're right.
8-year-old me. I went crazy.
I'll give them effort.
Yeah.
It was a different time. Yeah. So you can't really ding them too much. But
what would you think of all the the superhero roast, the DC superhero roast?
They were like, hey, Brogu from my own hometown, what's up, buddy?
Hey, Brogu.
They were cheap. I mean, they looked better. I mean, but they were cheapy. Yeah, so no, I don't know. Spider-Man of the Electric Company was perfect. That's right, Spidey. Yeah, Tex, that's true. But this is 2024, and you got to make this stupid. Again, like I say, you humiliate him by having him sitting down, putting his boot on like a dumbass.
Well, James Gunn's trying to be an artist. Like
James Gunn's an a-hole. That's what he is. He's a troll and a jackass. That's what he is.
Is he trying to copy that Alex Ross picture of Superman and the sitting down that has been going around lately on the Twitter X's?
I don't know what he's doing. But James Gunn, I mean, like I said, since it's so early on, that's a production still of Christopher Reeve. where he's just, in the costume, modeling it out. That looks fantastic.
Yeah, what's going on in the background there too?
Yeah, I don't know. But see, that picture of Reeves, for that's want to say, that's dignified. It's you see that, you go, wow, he looks like Superman. And he's sitting there while it looks like some shit's happening to the metropolis, like some kind of attack or some shit. I'll just put my boots on. Like, it's just, your gun is a wiener. But again, I hate all that. Maybe you don't agree, but I hate the collar. I hate all the raised, like, what is the words for it? I don't know anything about fashion.
Extra stuff is
the extra crap, stuff. Like the ridges or the ripples.
Well, that's the part I don't like the most on the shoulder pads, unless it's bending because of the
shoulder
suit.
pads. No, it may not. It may. I don't know.
It looks.
I don't like any of it.
Well, I know you don't like the extra stuff. Like I know you like Moon Knight. You like that. You like the spandex look, but unfortunately,
if that's spandex that Reeve is wearing, then yes, I do.
Yeah, no, I'm saying I know that's you. That's what you really like. So, I think unfortunately, because it's moderny, they always got to change things. Right? We always joke about engineers changing.
I think it's
things,
realistic.
They think it's that's the trend now is to have a built-up costume that's almost like a suit of armor, and it also helps to hide the actor's physique too. Especially you saw the Batman with Michael Keaton. He never bulked up Michael Keaton, so he needed that costume.
He was I don't think he was capable of bulking, but Batman don't need to be bulked up so much as tall. I want to say something to Adrian James real quick. Adrian,
sure, yeah,
you might be right. He said the picture's dark. Let's see. I don't really necessarily think that matters much, Adrian, but I know you're trying to be fair to it. Maybe you have a lot of hope. If you're having hope in James Gunn's, all I'm saying to you as a pal, because you've been a good buddy of the show, I'm saying don't get that hope up there, bud. That's all I'm saying, because this is a guy that doesn't respect the character, because not just because of his costume, he's got him sitting there putting his boot on like he thinks that's cute or something. But hey, you might be right. It might look different in the light, and that's fine. If that I change anything, I'm willing to admit to anybody that I changed an opinion. So, but I respect you and your opinion as well.
Yeah, I think if you look at that photo, and as a very amateur photographer, if you look at his knee there, I think the color palette it's definitely darker than the original suit, but I think you might see that depending on
it's still too dark for me.
Yeah, but it's I think it might be not as dark as you think. I think his suit is battle damage there, or that's the reflection with the S, and I hate the S. I can't stand the fancy dancy. Trying to get all fancy with the S, it's like just give us the classic. Give us the classic S. You don't. Sometimes you try to be too fancy by half, and
that's the Kingdom Come S with black, with yellow instead of black.
Yeah. So
the top of the suit looks smoke damage. Yeah, I mean, obviously, there's some kind of. It's a shot where he's been in a fight or something. All that's fine and good.
Yeah,
but the collar sucks. Even if it looks brighter in some light, the collar sucks. The boots are all. I mean, I don't know.
Those boots are were they made for walking or flying? But yeah, you're right. You got to see. It was just a bad joke. I apologize, but you got to see the you got to see him standing up, and he's just trying to be artsy fartsy here by having Superman put his boots on. He put his boots on so fast you wouldn't see it happening, right? So
yeah.
But I don't like the shoulder.
That might be behind the scenes. By the way, if that's behind the scenes, why do we have that special effect in the background?
Yeah, they're trying to be just show you something there.
I guess
they're trying to be too cute by half.
Right.
So I mean, the Superman's turn costume, I know you're talking about, the red was way too dark, but the blue, I think they got almost pretty right on the blue, and the S was too small.
Sucks.
And then they had the S's everywhere, like you said, like the S on the belt.
It was too dark.
But at least it was spandex, though. It was actually Brandon Routh.
Well, this costume looks to be about that darkness level.
I think you'll find that the blue is going to be a little bit lighter, because I was looking at this picture on a bunch of different monitors, and like on my TV, the knees look a lot lighter.
Tex, take it easy, bro.
Good night, Tex. Yep.
Be good, buddy.
So the Superman's return costume, I don't really like. The red is way too. It's like a maroon, but at least they went with the spandex and didn't. The boots are kind of low. I thought too, in that they were too
I mean,
low.
they got the trunks, which is a good. You
Yeah.
know, if you're gonna do the trunks, do the whole thing closer to the right. But here's the thing. I don't understand why they think Superman's costume has to have all that complicated original crap on it. SP4H. Hey, I don't understand just because it's 2024, they think they can't just make the costume look as close to the Reeve costume. The more simple, the better. Nobody, if you make a good movie, who's going to make fun of that? No one's going to. People, if it's so cornball, if it's so bad, if it's something so like not edgy enough for people like Gunn, which is probably what it is. If it's so out of the question to do a costume like that one we're seeing on Christopher Reeve right there, answer me this question: why in 2024 would most people tell you, "Oh man, Christopher Reeve will always be the best"? Why, if they didn't like this costume, they wouldn't be saying that.
Yeah, and of course,
people to this day say, "Oh, I mean, not everybody. There are people that like to pick these new people. Most people go, "Oh yeah, Christopher Reeve is always the top. He's the number one. He's the GOAT. Nobody else even comes close." They never follow it up with, "But I wish his costume was more realistic." No, they don't do that. They don't do that.
Well, plus everyone always loves Christopher Reeve's portrayal, and no one ever holds the costume against him, right? If the costume was that bad, how come? As you're saying, a lot of people say it's the best Superman portrayal. Yeah, no one,
right?
Because you get used to it, and you just and the way it's filmed, and the way his character, way he portrays Superman, it's just you look at it in awe too. Just
somebody they say, I don't know if it's true that Henry Cavill put on that costume once. I think he did
allegedly. Yeah.
Well, the pictures we've seen, if that wasn't photoshopped, if like for example, Henry Cavill could wear that costume and people would say that looks cool. If David Cornsweet wore that costume, they would say he looks good. If he's got the bod for it and all that stuff, nobody would say, "Oh, that's just silly because it's not 1978 anymore." Only there would be a few dumbass fanboy Snyderbot people that probably would, or their ilk. But I'm betting you most people wouldn't. I'm betting you most people go, "Hey, it's Superman. He looks pretty cool. Good, let's go."
Yeah.
Maybe James Gunn wouldn't, because it's not, because the costume's too old fashioned for him. But here we are. So man.
Well, I know you don't like the costume, but for me, I want to see what the story is. I mean, if we get a fantastic story, he might not like the costume, but I know people
I think they tie in.
Deal breaker,
I think they tie in because this shows no respect. I mean, like I said, unless the colors really come out a little bit more and they're not as bad, they still all that raised shit. Maybe I won't see it as much in certain spots. Oh, look, I'm gonna watch. Look, I think most people will still probably, when it comes out, if it looks interesting enough, we'll probably still go see it. I'll go look. I knew what Man of Steel was going to be, and I walked into the stupid theater and paid money to go watch it one time.
Yeah,
I'll do that with this, and we'll see. And if there's anything good to say about it, I will. But I'm just saying, now a year out, and that's all. This is no big deal. It's not like the end of the world. I don't care for it. I don't like that look, and I think look is very important with superheroes.
Yeah. Well, they're trying to go. They've always got to make it something more. What's the right word? Quote unquote, improve on something. They don't want to do the exact same thing that was done before, unfortunately. So that's why they're going with this quote unquote update. So that's the problem. They can't just stick to what was tried and true.
Them to do the same thing. But
but they got to deviate away from it. So at least it's Superman Returns. They were trying to honor that Reeve costume and make a difference, but they got the color palette wrong, and there's a lot of details that are wrong. But
and from then on, they started screwing with the costume.
Then they really went. And then that's when the trend.
Comics.
That's when the trend started on these spandex armor, for lack of a better term, or I don't know what you do. It's not really spandex, but
I don't know what it is.
I know what you call it, but it's it's not
Yeah.
it's not skin tight anymore. And I guess I'm guessing the actors probably like it more. I'm assuming he kind of hides a little bit more stuff, but in terms of being more realistic, like the Moon Knight costume, it's
Good
kind
night,
of like
Penny.
that. Where Good night, Penny. It's kind of
What?
like where it's
Moon Knight was
it's
horrible.
got all that extra stuff, but that's the new modern version of. I always joke I call him Moon Knight, but
Moon Knight, yeah. I hated I really liked that first Arkham Batman Arkham game, but I hated the costume. I hated the costume because it was so busy. It was so. I mean, at least it was gray on black and it had the trunks and stuff. But the costume, Batman, first of all, he looked like Arnold Schwarzenegger. I mean, he's so pumped up, it was stupid. And then it's just something about it. It just was too much. And so I got this skin. I went and I bought us the skin of the Adam West costume.
He plays Adam West, yeah.
And I put it in. I put it in. And made him wear the Adam West costume. And it was funny as hell. It looked cool.
I think I had that too. Yeah.
I even had the skin for the Batmobile, but it didn't change it to look like the '66 Batmobile. It changed his weirdo that version of the Batmobile with this color scheme
of the didn't change it.
But he wasn't driving around in which I was like, that's a ripoff. Man, I want him to be in the '66.
They probably couldn't get the rights to that one. Yeah,
I think they could if they could get the costume. They could. Yeah, they could.
Yeah.
They didn't want to.
Oh no, the car is by Barris, so who knows? But yeah,
they could swing it. They could afford it.
I'm sure they could. Yeah, but yeah.
So I don't know.
But actually, in the Superman TV show that's on, was it Lois and what's that one called? Superman and Lois.
Superman and Lois.
Yeah, you were mentioning too. They
first 5 minutes.
They had the original.
Yeah, the first minute of the Superman and Lois show. He had that Golden Age costume. That was fantastic. If he were still wearing that, no matter how bad the show is, I'd watch it. All right, J Man. Thanks, buddy. Had a great time hanging tonight.
J Man.
Oh yeah, I'll show. Oh, let me see. I'll show those, J Man, if I have permission. Do I have permission to show those? I sent you a few of those versions. I did of this pic. Okay. Is he still here? We'll see if I have permission to show his oh, thanks, buddy. I will. Let's see what J-Man has made some improvements to that picture.
He fixed the costume
today. I think he made some improvements to the costume. Yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Let's see here. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, here we go. Who wants to see J-Man's interpretation of this wonderful new costume? There you go, J-Man. Thanks. There's another one too. So basically, Superman's like this is an IKEA ad. He built that chair so fast, and yet he had to sit down and put his boot on.
Yeah, wouldn't Superman just be kind of flying in the air, floating, changing his boot? I mean,
one would think.
Crap, if I could fly, I wouldn't sit down and right. What does Superman need with a chair or furniture for that matter? What does
Superman need with a chair? Exactly.
Just float. Damn it.
Yeah. These boots were made for flying. Nike. Yeah, buddy. Thank you, Jay, man. I love it. It's like, again, it's such maybe the more I think about that, I'm like, yeah, just have him standing there in the I mean, I guess he thinks it's cute to have him sitting and putting his damn boot on while there's something. I mean, Gunn has I guess he thought people would think it's cute that while Metropolis is being blasted or whatever, Superman's sitting there putting his boot on. La-di-da.
Yeah, and then Superman, I guess he would get really frustrated trying to put together the IKEA furniture. I guess he did it, but might get out that X-ray vision and or his laser vision and take out the chair. If anyone's tried to put together IKEA stuff, yeah.
Yeah, Konami Recess 66 Batmobile. Was an Arkham Knight, but not playable in the game because the Batmobile became a tank. I got you. Well, I still wish it had been playable. So there you go, J-Man. Thanks, J-Man. Well, what can you do, folks? They're gonna do what they got. Hollywood's gonna do what Hollywood's gonna do. And I don't like I said, I'm not saying there aren't worse costumes that I've seen than that, but it's still just not my bag. I'm not into it. If they change my mind, good for them. But that's my initial reaction. I'm pretty much sticking to it. I'm not like angry because I'm not surprised. I would have to be surprised to be angry. I would have to like. I'm just like a little disappointed that they're just going to go that route to make it look like that again, and to go along something along those lines. It's not quite as maybe as when I first saw it this morning. It seemed a lot darker than it does when you look at some of the bigger pictures. It's not quite, but it's still too dark. I don't like all that raised dribble. I wish I knew what to call it. I know nothing about fashion. I'm using that word. I'm probably incorrect. All the ridges and bumps and all that
modern-y stuff.
Modern-y dribble. Yeah. So.
Yeah, well, you think about it in the 70s, like they would never done anything collar crazy sucks. To the costume. They were just, I don't like the collar. Yeah,
collar sucks.
Is that the Screw 52 stuff? Yeah, that's what I feel, that collar. But
even Cavill didn't have that. Yeah,
no, he didn't. Yeah, so but that's they always, there would have been no questions. Like, you try to make the costume. We're joking about the Spider-Man TV show, but they did their best with what the budget and the
they did
material at the time to try to make make Spidey, right? But they just didn't have the wherewithal. And then now the costume designers, they can do some fantastic stuff, and
not better than cosplayers.
Sometimes are the best. Yeah, the
cosplayers
stuff
are way better.
Yeah, I mean, no, but they can do it. They just they do what they're told to do. So I mean,
they do what they're told to do.
Yeah. So the technology is, but the technology is there.
Right.
The materials.
I understand the costume people do what they're told to do. I get that.
Yeah.
I'm not blaming the costume people. I am saying that fans make better looking costumes because whoever's calling the shots aren't fans, and they're just shitheads who don't care about the characters. So. And that's the human condition, folks. Things that you care about are usually controlled by suckers that don't. Yep. Whatever it is, not just fan stuff, anything, Yeah. I dislike it was Oliver saying I dislike the 1997 Steel movie starring Shaquille O'Neal. Starring, Shaq's acting wasn't bad, really. I didn't see it. I heard it was bad, but the costume looks awful. It does look terrible. Not that I'm a fan of Steel anyway, but yeah. Like Daffy Duck said to James Gunn, you're despicable. I hears you, partner.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, but unfortunately,
much for that.
We'll see what we get in terms of a movie. That's as much as might not like the costume. If the movie's incredible, right? Perchance, then you kind of go more lenient on the costume. If the movie sucks and the costume sucks, it's a double whammy.
Yep. Well, okay, I got a little caveat to give my friends out there. Let's see. It's another little topic for us. I don't know if any of you saw this yet, either one of these yet. You haven't watched these yet, have you?
Which
any of you watched Justice League Crisis? Yet. Crisis on Infinite Earths. Have any of you seen these yet? I won't spoil or anything if you haven't. They come pre-spoiled anyway. So
did you kind of like the first? Did you kind of like the first one, or no? You didn't.
Not at all. Keely Chow, Roll Tide. Saw the first one, not the second one. Says Quag. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go non-spoilery, I guess. They're animated films. Ravenscroft. The third part comes out in a few months. The second part just hit on digital, and the Blu-ray's coming out soon.
But you can't really spoil if it's following the comic, though, right?
Simply Steve, what's up, buddy? He said he's not going to watch him. No, it's not. That's what I'm saying. It's nothing to do. The comic. It's nothing like the comic. Ironhead said not interested. Crisis was my favorite comic growing up. I'm ready. I read it too many times. I don't require dumb. Yeah. Well, the thing is, it's your lucky day, Ironhide, because this movie has almost nothing to do with the comic book. I mean, almost. It uses names. It uses.
That's weird.
Well, it's not that weird if you think about it, because how many comic book adaptations have you seen, whether it's an animated or a live action, that has a name of something that is very close to the source material? For example, I love Captain America: The Winter Soldier. There was a Winter Soldier comic art that it borrows bits and pieces from, but it's nothing really that it's not all that close. Avengers: Age of Ultron. I love that movie. I never even read the comic it's based on, and from what it's really very little, if anything, to do with the comic book, right? Civil War. It borrows some basic concepts of Civil War, but it's not. I don't even like the Civil War comic. Oh wait, he is in the movie Joe Dog. Who are you talking about? Joe Dog's. And does it have Superman? It does not. Oh, that's Superman. Incidentally, he has a better costume in this than he does in that freaking thing we were just looking at. I don't like the art or the art style that much either. Yeah, I'm not a Millar fan either, Ravenscroft. I don't like Civil War. I'm just using that as an example of how, there are elements of the comic, but it's not really that close. What are some others? They've adapted some stuff in animated form that was a little bit closer. But yet they did a stupid version of the Judas Contract that I'll never watch because it's the wrong Titans. Not a big fan of Millar, I hear you though. So I'll simply say that there's a third part coming out. I'll watch it. This is so. Well, full disclosure, before I say that, because I know someone here said they're a fan of Ironhide's a fan of the original comic. I'm not. I'll be honest with you. Beautiful art I love the beautiful George Perez art. George Perez, Jerry Ordway. By the way, they printed this on a really crappy format. I don't know if you're familiar, but back then they had this thing called FlexiGraphic with these really garish, shitty colors that some comics were coming out on. It really kind of, later I think they kind of toned them down with the trades. So comparisons, the only thing interesting about this is comparing how not alike they are. The animated Killing Joke was garbage. I agree. Well, the thing about that could not be reached. The last 20 minutes of it was the adaptation of the comic. The first 40 was a bunch of garbage. The Dark Knight, you and I've talked about this. The Dark Knight one was fairly close, right?
That one I thought was pretty close. He was pretty close.
And the Batman Year One.
Yeah.
So they've done a lot of animated adaptations. This one, however, I'm trying not to. Should I spoiler? You don't want to spoiler it.
Yeah, because it's. How old is this comic? 30 years old. Or do
minor
spoilers.
But as I'm saying, the
it's just so different. Like it. Oh, okay. I see where you're going. Yeah, I'm like, how do you spoil a comic book that's already been written? But as you're saying, it doesn't have much to do with it.
It's a name only.
Well, does Flash still die? Oh, you don't want to say, I guess.
Well, not yet. But should I spoiler it, everybody?
I don't mind, but ask the audience. Yeah.
Who? I don't know, because I'm gonna watch the next one. If you could spoil it for me, I wouldn't care. But somebody might not want to spoil it.
Yeah. Or just put a big.
I'll let them answer
no in the chat if you don't.
I'll let them answer. Yeah, if you want it spoilered, put yes. Spoiler away, or put no if you want. Before I say that, let me tell you because you're not going to like my opinions of the comic book. My opinion and by the way, I think it's better than this. But here's the problem with the comic. This is ironic. This is irony personified because, epitomized or whatever. Because the comic was intended for nothing but revisionism, and now this thing revised it. This comic book was done on the orders of then publisher Jeanette Kahn, who had done some good things for DC and some not so good things, but she had decided she thought she was losing people because of the this convoluted, in her mind, continuity. In other words, it's too confusing to have Earth 1 and Earth 2 and Earth 3 and Earth 4 and blah, 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 all that stuff. So let's merge the Earths. And she was not a comic. She's not a creative. She was brought in the mid-70s from, I forgot, a magazine publisher. She didn't know anything about comics, or at least she's not a comic book person, and certainly not a writer or an artist or anything. But she got together with Marv Wolfman and I guess a few other people, Perez and some others. And she said, let's streamline the Earths. And because let's merge it. So this wasn't a result, the original Crisis comic, of some people sitting around and going, you know what? Wouldn't it be a cool idea about if this wall of antimatter is attacking the Earth, and because of this thing called the anti-monitor, the monitor comes along as basically the Watcher, and he wants to fight his counterpart, and the Earths get all these infinite Earths are merged together. Blah, 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 there's a crisis a little bit because you see, they called it crisis because that was a word that started back during the old JLA JSA crossovers. Crisis on Two Worlds, crisis on this, crisis on that. So it was a used word for DC Comics at the time.
Yeah.
So they decided, let's do a mini series where we could cross it over with a lot of other books, introduce characters that people don't normally read into books that, and then we could squish the Earths together, change continuity so some stuff didn't happen. Instead of there being an Earth 1 and an Earth 2 and an Earth 3 and an Earth X, let's make it all one big Earth. Boom. Which pissed me off. At the time, I'm like, oh, why are you doing this? I hated it. I love the art, but I was like, this sucks. Yep. That said, I would rather
the idea of it. You hated the idea of getting rid of all the Earths.
Yeah, I loved Earth 1 and Earth 2 and Earth X and all that stuff. It was not confusing to me one bit, but she thought it was confusing. So automatically I was pissed off, but I bought it and I love the Perez art. You kidding me? Of course I'm going to buy it. And a lot of people did. And I bought some of the crossovers, most of them, if not all of them. But and I used to bitch about it every week. We'd talk about it, but you know what? That was the good old days when our biggest problem was whether we thought a story was stupid or a comic sucked. Nothing to do with anything outside of it, from the outside world, like politics. We were just arguing about the content. Aren't those good times when you were just arguing about the content? I mean, that's what.
Yeah, well, yeah, just what was there?
Right.
Yeah,
what was the content, and that's it.
Yeah.
And God, I missed those. We thought, oh man, we shouldn't argue so much about that stuff. Never like, God, please, I wish we could argue about that stuff. So I was pissed and critical of it because it was not done out of whole cloth for a an admirable artistic reason. It was done from on high. It was done for corporate on high decision making. It was corporatism that Raquel likes to talk about a lot of time. How the corporation got their fingers into the artistic endeavor of it, and so on. So I didn't like it from that aspect either. And it was therefore you were told, concoct this story so you can fix this thing, and it was pretty ham-fisted, But it's been so long. I'm going to go back and read it again, and I might change my mind a little bit. Who knows? I am actually planning to go back and read it again now, especially because of this. So here we are, almost 40 years later. They make 2 animated movies. 3. There's going to be a third one, right? And I understand that a lot of things have changed at DC Comics, so they're kind of hodgepodging everything from the past 40 years. And if you think that's cool, okay. I don't. But I get it. I get why they're doing it. But still, you didn't have to do what they did in this one. First of all, the anti, I don't know, or the whatever. Everyone was cool.
Do they have the anti-monitor? Do they have the anti-monitor?
Well, that's what it's a spoiler thing. I didn't want to spoil it unless someone said it was okay. Were we okay? Oh yeah, could not be reached. I hate it. Identity Crisis is a plague. I hate it. So Is everyone okay for me spoiling this thing or whatever? Because I don't have to. I could move on. What do you think? Did everyone say it was all right or what?
I don't see any. I don't see any votes so far.
Spoiler away. So what do you think, everybody? Go ahead and just. It's not so much a spoiler. It's not the biggest spoiler, but it's just basically giving you a basic idea of what the whole basic plot is. Okay, spoiler. All right. I mean, it's not like super spoiler, but it isn't a little. So I watched the first part a couple of months back, and it's this is not. It's all about a lot of it's about Flash, but this is again, it's going from Earth to Earth. There's this bit. Oh my God, I don't know which Earth it was exactly. Jensen Ackles is doing Batman's voice pretty well. Young Bruce Wayne, when he meets Dick Grayson. Jesus Christ. He after Dick Grayson's parents are killed, he takes him to an orphanage, and he won't raise him. And Dick Grayson even wants him to, he won't do it because he knows he's got to fight as Batman, and he thinks it would be irresponsible to raise a kid, to be Robin, to be like his sidekick.
Yep.
I'm like, oh boy. That comes into play later in the next movie, right? But before that, I can't remember everything happened in the first one because it was kind of boring. But nothing really happens in the first one. They were kicking the can down the street. The Justice League are a bunch of newbies. I know that one in the first one. But in the second one, which I just watched, so it's fresher in my mind, we finally meet the Monitor. And the Monitor is basically like the Watcher, as you know. There's no such thing as, but the Monitors doesn't really know anything about Earth or any of this kind of stuff. Hey, Stephen Mack. And he's got this gigantic ship, and he's watching the wall of antimatter destroying all these different planets, all these different Earths. And he doesn't care. But all along comes this ship that the computer found is from Krypton, and it's a ship with Kara Zor-El in it. And he takes Supergirl in, or Kara, and frees her and starts learning more about, learning, teaching her how to, basically bringing her out, telling her what happened to her people or whatever. All of a sudden, she leaves him, goes to one of the Earths, and ends up in the 30th century for some reason. That stupid Legion movie they did.
You go to the future, okay.
So she's gone for a while. Earlier in the first movie, we see Harbinger, who looks nothing like the one in the comic book. Anyway, I'm jumping around for a reason. In the second movie, we finally see Psycho Pirate. What they do to Psycho Pirate, oh my God. The first 30 minutes of the movie is boring ass shit of the second movie with Psycho Pirate. We find out that Psycho Pirate's like the Purple Man. He can control people. And so he ends up getting out of this asylum thingy or whatever it is, and he can control Yahtzees, and he takes over like a whole bunch of them on a ship and stuff. And he uses them to kill a bunch of people and stuff, and eventually goes to Atlantis because they had this in that Justice Society movie they made. It's all tying in. He goes and he takes over the Atlanteans, and he takes over Aquaman and stuff. He's the Purple Man. But later he gets caught by Dr. Fate, he captures Dr. Fate and tortures him, but Dr. Fate turns the tables on him. It's like, what is going on here? We find out later that the Anti-Monitor is accidentally, we don't even see the Anti-Monitor. The Anti-Monitor is just a mirror reflection of the Monitor. Not really the Anti-Monitor. Basically, what I'm getting at is we find out that Supergirl is Harbinger from the future.
No.
Oh my God. There's a scene in the second movie. Batman's fighting, I forgot who he's fighting Joker and a bunch of other baddies, and the Bat family, Damian, Dick Grayson, Batman Beyond, Barbara, a couple others, the Bat people show up. The Batman who got rid of Dick Grayson, who wouldn't raise him. So he's a different Batman. They all save him, and he's still an asshole to him. And he's like, he tells that Dick Grayson says, I'm glad I didn't train you. That would have been child abuse and all this other kind of stuff.
Oh, God.
He's still a jerk off to him. There's scenes that are so stupid in this thing. I'm triggered even thinking about them. The Crime Syndicate stuff on Earth 1 they did in the first one was sort of like the comic book one. But everything has changed. There's nothing like the friggin' comic. Not anything. The Anti-Monitor's nothing like that. The Spectre did show up at some point. They show pockets of different heroes and stuff. I'm trying to keep. Reason why I'm not telling you all much because I don't want to be spoiler. I know you said spoiler it already, but it's. It aggravates me to even talk about it. It's so stupid. And I'm not, like I said, I don't hold Crisis sacrosanct. But what they do, I am telling you that's one thing I spoiled you, is that Harbinger is going to turn out to be Supergirl. I know it.
No
but she looks nothing like her. She's purple. And what they do to the Legion, they want to punch somebody in the face 5 times. I don't know who wrote this, Ravenscroft, and I've been skirting saying certain things. Monitor's stupid. There's like a big chunk of the first of the second movie where Psycho Pirate story is boring and dumb, and he's not even the later Psycho. He's the Golden Age Psycho Pirate, not the second one. For some reason. And it's not about his mask or anything either. It's just he controls emotions. He's Purple Man. He just mind controls people. I mean, and the first one didn't have that power, but that's okay. We don't give it. It's just yeah. I'm not going to. By the way, and
so would you recommend watching it, or don't waste your time, or
it might be if you're a fan of them. It might be interesting for you if you get it for free. Don't pay for this stupid thing. It's Krieg, right? Yeah. Look, James Krieg is a nice dude. I mean, only because I've had some nice interactions with him on Twitter. Because I love some of the stuff he's done, like he did with that Blue Beetle short. You get to see a lot of the superheroes that look pretty cool in their costumes. There's snippets here and there that are the best thing about it. You get to see like some of them look like they did in the old school costumes. The animation style, the art style sucks in my opinion. Flash is a big part of the story where before in Crisis, he was just running around, popping up, getting and gets killed. So definitely Supergirl's going to die in the next one. But she's going to turn out to be, I know she's going to turn out to be Harbinger. Harbinger looks like shit. Pariah looks like shit too. He's terrible. Yeah, James Krieg. James Krieg's a nice guy, but it's just, I guess, look, they don't care about adapting the first Crisis. They're trying to please everybody by adapting all these bits and pieces from modern stuff. And when Batman the lone Batman fights alongside, gets saved by the Batman family, as they call themselves, it's so cringy and stupid. Because he says, I'm not your Batman. And all this stuff, yeah. And they were just saying he's still just like he is like our Batman in that way. I'm not your Batman. This is, mind you, by the way, this is the stupid Batman, the same one from that terrible, what was it, Long Halloween adaptation? Did you see that?
Can't remember. I don't think I saw that one actually.
Long Halloween.
No, I didn't watch that one. No, you were. Were you saying how bad that was? Horrible it was with Loki?
Yeah, the first part was okay till they got to the end. There's a scene where Batman, mind you, say again, Batman in that thing says, I didn't know I'd have to be a detective when I started all this. I kid you not. That's in that movie. The character who started in Detective Comics number 27 said he's only been Batman like a couple of years. He said, I never knew I'd have to be a detective. Oh my God. I want that. what's that saying you keep seeing on in memes? Tell me you don't know anything about Batman without telling me you don't know anything about Batman. I guess, right? This is not a detective. So the people who did this were uninformed, as those that originally screwed up Crisis 38 years ago. Pretty much, Fanty, pretty much, but worse. But I guess that's irony, isn't it? Because that's the original Crisis was meant to be revisionist drivel, to revise the DC universe, and they screwed it all up. By the way, the original Crisis got contradicted a year later by John Byrne and George Perez and Frank Miller. They didn't even stick to their own stupid revisions, if you remember.
Yep.
I don't know. I guess I'm refraining from saying much about it because, quite frankly, I think it's been a whole like 2 days or 3 days since I watched it. I think I forgot a lot of crap that was in it. Picasso. Let's see. Picasso says, "I guess I don't know anything about the Batty Dude." Well, didn't he used to be called the world's greatest detective?
Yeah, it's been a while since Batman's been a detective. Yeah, in the films. Although the Batman, they tried to have some detective work in there, but
K. Roberts. Yeah, but they made him adult.
well, yeah, I didn't like him knocking on the nightclub door to talk to the Penguin. Yeah,
Gold penguin. Whack, whack, whack. There's a lot of since they don't know how to stretch a story out. There's a lot of scenes in the animated one where they just show characters standing around because you want, oh look, characters, isn't that cool? Yeah, that's cool. They look good. Some of them look good. They show them like occasionally. They're not really fighting much. It took like almost to the end of the second movie for Shadow Demons to show up. So there's nobody to fight until they show up, really. It's not really action in this thing. It's boring crap. Hey, boring, Captain Kennedy. You didn't miss anything, dude. I liked the movie, but hated the ending. It was lame. Which one, Picasso? Oh, maybe he's talking about the Batman. I don't know. But the Long Halloween second part was the worst, by the way. Because
that was the absolute worst. Yeah.
I mean, the first part, but second part should have been called Catwoman: The Long Halloween. Bruce Wayne, Batman's an invalid. Oh, the Batman, yeah, I got you. I didn't like it much. Well, some people liked it. It's a weird. Like I say, it's weird who likes that movie. It does. I don't know. It's not weird that you like it, if it makes you feel any better. But I have some friends I can't believe that like it. It's not an insult either. I'm just saying.
No.
Crisis on Impotent Earths. But did you buy this when it came out?
No, but I own it now.
Okay. That's right. You were more of a Marvel guy.
More of a Marvel person, yeah. But then I always loved Batman, so then I started collecting Batman. Probably was the thing I always bought the most is Batman and Nightwing, of course. And then I added the Superman books. And you go into the shop and you just you'd buy stuff. And I did collect the Flash for a while and
Good night,
Longbow Hunters. Yeah, Ravenscroft.
Yeah,
you get into certain. Yeah, you get into certain books, but most more the majority of my collection is Marvel, but there's still plenty of DC in there too. But I always gravitated towards Marvel. I don't know why. You can't put a finger on it. Like I'm not saying one's better than the other, but
a lot of people.
It just happens the way personal tastes go.
Yeah,
and I love the X-Men too. The X-Men were early X-Men.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah, no, I got you. I mean, hell,
yeah. But do you think Marvel was Marvel outselling DC for
when
during the 80s, 70s, 80s?
Actually, DC had a renaissance where they took control. I mean, eventually, it went in the 80s. It went like this. Marvel entered it, guns blazing. I mean, they started having a lot of success with Miller's Daredevil, with Claremont Cockrum / Claremont Byrne X-Men, and stuff like that. And then not too long, new Teen Titans and Dark Knight Returns, and even Legion for a while, and to an extent, Watchmen and Swamp Thing, and you name it, Crisis, and all these things started really taking root so DC kind of ruled the roost throughout the 80s for most of the 80s in terms of popularity. Marvel was kind of flailing. Their books, all the best talent was going to DC.
Yeah.
Marvel had their Epic line that didn't do all that great, but DC started doing pretty damn well. Wait, so is a universe different from a dimension, says Captain Infinity? I don't think so. Are they? Is it? I don't know much about that sort of thing, Cap, but I think it's in comic book parlance, it's another dimension. I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
Crisis on Infinite Earths. Yeah, it was just basically every year from the 60s on about until the mid 80s, they had this thing called the annual JLA JSA team up in the pages of Justice League of America. Once a year, the annual team up where either the JLA would go over to Earth 2, which was they used to explain it as it exists in the same space as Earth, but on a different vibrational plane. So I guess that's a dimension, right?
I guess.
And each adventure would either be one way or the other. Parallel universes are the new time travel, says Captain Infinity. Yeah.
But did they exist or did they not exist?
I'm going to say that they don't exist.
Yeah.
But they do at the same time.
I got a clip in this vein because I know we were talking about this lately with Captain Infinity. So this is hopefully you don't mind replaying yourself on the show, but I had a fun clip.
Yeah, but see, the thing is they existed, but they never existed. Oh my! Where'd you?
I got a bunch. You know where I got those? Yeah, I got a bunch of them. I'm trying to figure out which was the best one to play, but that was for Captain Infinity too.
That was for you, Cap.
I know he's been talking about.
They existed, but they didn't exist. So, but they did exist until they didn't exist, right?
Yeah. So what does it mean? I mean, it's very confusing. It's very confusing. Yeah. So
yeah, it is.
It's something. Here's one more. Yep.
They
oh no, we're losing Clobby.
Oh
no.
Exist.
Clobby.
Clobby. They were like Earth B.
That was hysterical when he did that. Yes,
I forgot
have
about
too much
that.
time. I have too much time on my hands. I'm like, I've been meaning to clip that show. So,
yeah. Okay, Roberts, good to see you there. Yep, Captain Infinity. Mirror is my favorite all-time episode. So I guess I like Mirror Universe. I like parallel universes. The only people who abused parallel universes are the idiots on Deep Space Nine when they kept going to the Mirror Universe.
Oh God!
And then comic books started doing it, and now some of the Marvel movies do it. Marvel movies really do it. Well, MCU with that stupid time variance agency. Well, I bet you love that show, Infinity.
Who was it? Simon? I know I read the Simonson Time Variance Authority stuff, but did he create that, or was that someone else?
No, someone did it before him, but
someone did before him. But
oh man, I think it was Conway or Thomas or somebody. But he used it. Yeah, I mean, again, but not every 100 issues or anything. He just did it.
Yeah, it was like issues. Yeah, it was a fun diversion with the FF and.
It was the Loki TV show. It has to be the most horribly transgressive time travel thing ever done, and because the big sin is they didn't do it well. It was ugly and stupid and made no sense.
I was confused watching that last season.
Time variance agencies, like it was. I know they were trying to be funny, but it was just like ugh. Yeah,
I was very
especially
confused.
like it when the characters see themselves, e.g., Mr. Spock. Yes. Yep. Yep. So yeah, I don't know, man. I hated it on Deep Space Nine when they started screwing around with the Mirror Universe. Hated it.
And the episodes were hard. Not only did they screw around with the universe, the episodes were ridiculous too. They just weren't. They weren't fun. I mean, yeah.
No.
The Kira, you know, the sexy Kira, you know, Kira, or how would you describe her? What
the
you know,
regent or sinking
Regent,
Zabi,
yeah.
whatever the hell she was.
That's just a vehicle for the actors to go nuts, right? That's just what they
they love it.
They want. They love
like
it as an actor.
Yeah, they like to do stuff as an actor where they take their character and they get to do something different. But you know what? Yeah, whatever. But it's still cringy and dumb.
Oh yeah. It's just
then you
none of that. None of that was fun. None of that stuff was fun.
What he says, Infinity says. Then you get into which is the real you, which is almost Blade Runner territory, except both are humans. Yeah, exactly. And well, again, there at least it's a parallel universe. See, with Mira, it was an accident. They didn't keep going back. Yeah, and they never went back. And that
they
was
didn't want to go back. Yeah,
that was. And again, even though I bitch a lot about time travel in Star Trek, at least it's not like all the episodes. They do it a few times, and it's not a good idea. Most of the show's not that. It's not about that. Now, obviously, Doctor Who is all about time travel. The time tunnel is all about time travel. The time tunnel. I don't know if you ever watched the time tunnel, Captain Infinity, but the time tunnel was like a historical show. What was funny about that is Tony Newman and Doug Phillips would keep popping up in all these different historical moments, and they would screw around in every one of them. And they wouldn't even pretend to not mess with time. But it never worked, and they got sent to the next one. They never affected anything, hardly. They did affect some stuff. The time tunnel. But as a kid, we loved the time tunnel. It was a fun show.
Yeah, and at least, like you said, that's a show about time travel. Doctor Who has to have time travel in the show, right?
About time travel. Star Trek doesn't need it.
But have they ever had a character in Doctor?
Here.
RTNZ. Have they ever had a character in Doctor Who that gets turned into a lizard, does something in the past that affects their future like that? I don't ever recall. I mean, you've watched more Doctor Who than me, but
yes.
So that has happened before, where they've done something that affects their own history.
In a sense, yes, but you know what? They had rules, even Doctor Who, for example. And hey, D-Bud, what's up, buddy?
Hey, D-Bud, like the fixed moment in time, or what would they call that?
Right. But then there's also like in Modern Undead, the doctor said, a person from one time zone, if he gets taken out of his time zone and meets himself from another time zone, it's not good. It's a catastrophe. So even they made some certain rules, like because the two brigadiers almost destroyed the damn universe by meeting. Modern Undead, one of my favorite episodes.
But how does that different than the 5 Doctors when the Doctors meet?
Well, the Time Lords are Time Lords. Now that was on Gallifrey too, remember? But they were breaking the laws, their own laws of time when they did it, and they were as the Doctor himself put it in the 3 Doctors. He said, "I'm a temporal anomaly." In other words, when we fix this thing, we're gonna put everything back straight. And the Time Lords have definitely a different perception of time, and they get it, but meeting yourself is fine. Marty McFly did that in the first movie. Yeah, but that's a comedy. It's silly, but yeah, I hear you. Yeah, but no, you're right. But yeah, meeting yourself is probably not a good idea. They were 2 different people. That's exactly right. But in the case of Doctor Who, the 2 brigadiers, that was done with a TARDIS. So that's Time Lord stuff there. RRTNZ, thank you for the super chat, buddy. He says, when Superman needs Superman, he calls Chuck Norris. I've heard that.
Superman.
Also, RRTNZ says, just got here weighing in one in DS9 mirror unique Cardassians should have been good guys. Well, yeah, that's a good point. Crisis comic was good. CW version mediocre. New Superman suit looks a bit overdone, but we'll wait and see. Thank you for weighing in. Quag says the Dimensional Development Court First appeared in the Captain Britain, which was similar to the TVA, but the actual TVA was created by Simonson back in his Thor run. Could have swore that somebody did it before that, but thanks, Quack.
Thank you, Ragnar. Yep.
Whereas 12 Monkeys, the Cole that saw Cole was the same Cole. Was that Coleslaw?
That was a great TV show. I loved.
I never
12
saw the
Monkeys.
show.
It's confusing. It was good. But it creates its own universe, its own rules, like you said. So they're following their. So it was a decent show. Yeah, I did enjoy it. And that's the thing. You're just setting up a show about time travel, and it's loosely tied to the movie, I would say, but it expands. A movie can only do so much.
But it's not a comic book. This is comic talk. So yeah.
Yeah, you're talking comics, but there's a nice some nice twists and turns in that show. So I'd recommend giving it a shot and see what you think.
Yeah, but it's not a comic book, so we're gonna switch back to comics.
Yeah, switch to comics. Yeah.
Comic show.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm picking up my agonizer.
That was my fault, not yours. But I mean, that was my fault, not yours. But I'm saying, was there a comic book of it? Maybe there was, and that technically qualifies.
Let's check.
I don't know. There probably was. There's a comic book of everything.
Bruce Willis illustrated it.
Yeah.
No. Let's see. I don't know.
I was kidding, but I'm just saying there's a comic book of everything. So there you go.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, it was managed to do some comics topics tonight. What else is going on? You haven't bought any new comics lately, have you?
No, I have not bought any. Well, I mean, I just showed what I got last week, and of course, I got the omnibus. So, but I did show the covers from last. I'm pretty sure I did, right? With yeah, I did show those comics. You saw my Conan comics, or did I not show that?
I don't know.
I can't remember now. Do I exist or not?
Did you get those Conan? Did you get those Conan comics? Well, show them.
Yeah, all right.
I don't think you did show. You might. Yeah. I think you did.
Wait, no, I can't remember. My goodness gracious! Does anyone remember me showing any Conan the Barbarian? Because
someone with better memories.
No, these are new. Yeah, all right. So let me show these. Yeah, because you didn't see the Micronauts Spider-Man cover, did you?
I don't think so. I saw that you did and you didn't. Thank you, Cap. You're gonna make us go crazy with this timey-wimey stuff.
Yeah, let me show them anyway. If I showed them before.
Infinity is timey-wimey.
Let me switch to my mic here. Let me switch to the headset.
All right. I don't remember showing Conan. Thank you, D-Bud.
All right. Let me put my Batman DVD collection away, which the great Tom Connors pointed out to me actually has a sound chip in it. So I left that out so I can do
a project.
Yeah, I got to do a video on that and changing the batteries in that.
Some batteries. Yeah.
Limited edition Blu-ray number 49,751 of 95,000.
Damn, I wish I'd have got that.
You can still buy it. It's still available on Amazon, I saw.
Oh, $1,000?
No, it wasn't as crazy as I thought it would be. I can't remember what it was.
So that came out a long time ago.
Yeah, I was surprised that people had it for sale. Oh, I did get a new action figure, so I could show that too. And she's a hot redhead, so she's definitely worth showing.
All right.
Yeah. I'll start with the action figure first. But
is she comic related?
She originated on a TV show. Guess who that is? Yeah.
Alan Moore and Jamie Delano made Captain Britain a Florida. Yeah, I like Alan Moore's run on Captain Britain was pretty cool if I remember. It's been a while.
And let's see, what's another hint?
There you go.
Well, of course, I didn't show this on your comic book show. So yeah.
No,
so
you showed this in the Clubhouse.
Sorry, not Star Trek. Yeah, the Clubhouse. Yep. So let's show that. And as people can guess who the action figure, she's from a very Miss Lion is one of her favorites.
Kirk becomes the leader of the Justice League.
Yeah.
New action figures at the end of the month from Iron Man, says D-Bud. Whoa, cool.
Nice.
Yep. For those who don't know, back on the Shatner's birthday, They this was a big sales gimmick for DC. They put him on the cover of World's Finest number 25. He's not inside the comic or anything. He's just being the captain on the Justice League satellite there.
And I'm a sucker for that one. So, yep. Could not resist. All right. So, any guesses for
that's what they were banking on?
Who that action figure is?
All right,
Hot redhead, and she loves Mrs. Lion.
Who's Mrs. Lion?
You got to remember who Mrs. Lion is. No?
Why would I?
Well, you'll remember as soon as I show you. All right. She's a very friendly character.
Mrs. Lion?
She's an. Oh, here we go.
Firestar. I still don't know who Mrs. Lion is.
The dog on Spider-Man.
Why would I know that? Why would I possibly know that? I didn't watch that show.
You didn't watch that at all?
No.
You don't see the hotness that was Firestar?
I told you. Hey, Parker, look. Did either of you attend the local NCBD this past week? You mean Free Comic Book Day?
I did not.
I did not either, Parker. I don't go anymore.
It's one hot action figure. Let me tell you.
That is something. Woo wee. No, I didn't watch that show. But back when it came on, I was like, why in the hell is Spider-Man living with Iceman and this fire chick? And why does he have
live with the fire chick?
Well, I would, but that's not the point. In the comic book, Spider-Man didn't live with anybody. I was going on the logic of what was it, a 16-year-old or something?
Yeah,
so
no, your logic was correct.
And then it was like, why does he have all these gimmicks and crap? Like it's like all this technology. I was like, what?
Did they explain it was Tony Stark that set up all those gizmos and gadgets?
I've heard people say that. I barely watched it. I was like, Spider-Man and his amazing zoo crew. I'm not interested.
Yeah, I love the show.
I understand. Many of my dear friends love it dearly, and I have no problem with that. You ordered that or what?
Yeah, I ordered it. Yeah,
I get that.
Firestar's one of my favorite.
By the way, those figures there, those from that set, that's from that Kenner set, right? The retro ones.
Retro Kenner, which weren't Kenner.
I finally bought one. I had to stop I got the thing. Other than that, I've not let myself buy these because it just gets expensive. Those things aren't that cheap.
No, I always wait till they're on sale, but they're about average about $10-$12.
The con I was at a couple weeks ago, I finally found Nova, so I had to have him.
You had to have Nova, yeah.
Mrs. Lion the dog. Yeah, Fanty, I would not even know that because I never watched that cartoon. You kept saying it like I was supposed to know that.
Yeah, I thought, well, you know lots of stuff. So, but yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I don't know much.
Yeah, you do. Now I'm trying to find a spot on the wall where I can put her because I need to have Firestar up on my wall.
Those figures are at Dollarama in Canada for $5. That's what I paid for that Nova figure, $5. But we don't have Dollarama here. But maybe some places have them cheap. I'll go look. Ollie's had them fairly cheaper, but they weren't that cheap. All right, what we have here? What is that? You got a glare problem.
Yeah, let me adjust the camera and the light. Yeah.
Is that a Conan?
This is Conan. I got to move the light when I go closer.
Conan the Barbarian number 8 variant.
You like that art? I think that was the only one that was available left for me to buy.
Is that Belit?
I don't really like that art. So
you didn't watch Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, but you watched the Thing Ring do your thing. No, I didn't.
That doesn't exist.
I did not, sir. Proud to say I didn't. Yeah. That's a cool thing.
That's a pretty good cover here.
Conan cover. Did you get Savage Sword of Conan?
No, I just got this. Yep. Just the. So I got to read these. Yep. So here, Nick and everyone said these are really good. Number 5, second print, but that's a wild cover. I think I like that.
That's an interesting cover right there. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Black and white cover. Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah. So I think that works for Conan.
Yeah, I like it.
And now we go back to more modernity drivel. Secret Origin of B. Bennett, Pirate Queen.
Whoever that is.
Yep.
Why do women have to be so frumpy in the DC universe now?
I don't know if she's related to the Dread Pirate Robert, but this is an annual. And Nightwing looks like he's 10 there.
She looks like a frump.
Yeah.
Clap. The Tomb of Wolverine. Oh God.
They're copying classic covers.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like a take on the old Tomb of Dracula comic.
Yeah, so they show you when you're signing up for these, they show you the original covers.
Yeah. I recognize what it's based on.
Yeah.
Tomb of
I
Crap.
thought it was fun.
Nightwing crap, Tomb crap becomes a Fanty's great. Fanty's judging your comics.
Oh, sorry. Hit the screen. Hit the camera. But I mean, if you're gonna,
you tell him, Fanty.
You tell him, yeah. But tell me. But the they don't charge you more for these at least. So
Wag, we're gonna have to get a soundbite of that. She says, "Where's Raquel's with the raspberry?" I can't do what she does. So
it's hurting my ears. I was rewatching that episode, and she had so many raspberries going. I had to turn the volume down. It was killing my ears after a while. She was that episode. They don't exist or exist. This is the Ultimate Spidey number 4. I think this is I kind of liking these.
I talked to Jay about that. Jay and Sean about that. They said because everyone's raving about this comic, and they said the latest issue sucked, and they dropped it. They hated it, but everyone's liking it.
People are liking it.
Saying, ultimate crap indeed, Fancy. Ultimate crap. Mega crap. What's that scene with J. Jonah Jameson in the first Spider movie? Crap, mega crap.
Yeah.
This looks, I don't know.
That's not bad. Hulk's face is not
as bad as some of the other ones we've seen on the Hulk lately.
Yeah.
These new ones.
I just don't like his face. I never liked the Hulk with just that weird hair, where it's just like the top of his head.
Yeah, me either.
It's like the Hulk
has
been hair.
2 years.
Doesn't have male pattern baldness.
Oh, Joe Dog. Yeah, that's true. I saw that somewhere. Today has been 2 years since George Perez passed away. My goodness.
Yep. Unfortunately, yeah.
The great artist. The immortal.
Or Alex Ross. Scourge and Thor. Oh, is that Enchantress? Is that supposed to be Loki? No, that's not Loki. It's some kind of demon. Anyone know who that horn dude is?
Is it Serta? I don't know.
Dude with the horns. Who is that?
Some dude with horns. I don't know. But all I know is that there always seem to be, what is it with these covers? People inside some like office or some restaurant or some shit.
Yeah, they always do that stuff. Yeah, they're getting their grilled cheese.
Matthew Pounder, hey there. There you
Conan, go. Number 10.
You got every issue of that so far?
No, because they're sold out. I have to get back issue. Or the place that I buy them, some of them were sold out. It's okay cover, not as good as the other cover, I thought. Now here we go. This is awesome. They're doing Avengers Micronauts variant. Unfortunately, Captain Marvel is on there. Look at the Micronauts.
Why are they putting the Micronauts on the cover?
So idiots like me buy it, and Hasbro, I guess, licensed by Hasbro. Bastages. So I guess they can't say Micronauts, although they do own these 3 characters. The Croyer they can't use, but these are all 3 original characters: Commander Rand, Marionette, and Bug.
There's Bug.
They
look pretty good. But the Avengers don't look good on there. But the Micronauts actually look pretty good on there.
I wish I could scan this and erase Ms.
Yeah,
no. I got to scan this and erase Ms. Marvel. Scarlet Witch is okay. Yep. And they got the likeness is pretty good. But I guess Hasbro owns the Micronauts, so they're. I don't know if there's rumblings of them. They're actually going to do a movie or maybe do a cross licensing deal and put them in the Marvel. We've got to be great if they. Well, it probably wouldn't be great because it would suck so much, and Microtron would be very, very angry. Yeah, they should have had Microtron on the cover too. But
that's obscene.
Detective, I'm not liking this whole run of covers. Just dark,
depressing. I don't like that.
Too brown.
Yeah, it's awful.
Yeah.
Right there on the same page with you.
And how are the Micronauts not smaller than the Avengers? Well, that's artistic license, I guess. Yeah, they use pin particles on them. Yeah,
that's
because the Micronauts are about this big when they come to our universe. So,
did they ever do a couple of times through the regular size?
Big. Yeah, they've done that before too. Where they?
That's not so. This one is cool. That's kind of cool.
This I bought 2 of these because this is This is really good. So yeah, again, licensed by Hasbro. I wonder who did this cover. If I go to comic book show, I'd like to get this signed. Get Golden to sign it. He charged me $30, even though he didn't do the art properly.
Yeah, he probably signed for it.
Yeah. Who's someone I
There's a
can't see who
signature
that
down
is.
there.
Yeah, I can't read it.
Jay Lee? No. May
Marquez?
Mark
Marquez,
Marquez.
maybe?
I
Or
don't
someone
know.
Goggles Amazing Spider-Man
I mean, you
48.
made it clear. It actually focused mine where I could read it, but I can't
Focus
really.
it right.
Yeah,
You know who that is, yeah.
I don't know.
But I thought that was really cool. So that's old school Spider-Man, old school Micronauts.
Right. That's pretty
Commander
cool.
Rand looks too young though and should have like that scruffy beard. He's looking a little bit too young there for me.
I got
Other
you.
than that,
Pretty good though.
because he was always kind of portrayed as a little bit older.
He does look like a kid, right? They both look kids.
Yeah. She
Still
looks
pretty
great.
cool.
I always loved
Yeah,
her
yeah.
outfit. Just her outfit, not anything else. Yeah. So I bought 2 of these because
There you go.
why not? A Mr. Micronaut. So bought 2 of those. Oh, we're back to Bill.
Captain of
those
the
were-
Justice League.
So let's see. This is
Captain
this is
Justice
no.
League.
The bill was cool. This is okay. I only got 1. Let's see. I do like Ross. This is a mediocre but passable. I kind of like that one. This is not
Yeah.
good art, but if this sucks, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool too. Is that Jay Lee or is that?
Oh, could be.
It is. Yeah. Oh, I think right. Is that?
Yep. Well done, Jay Lee.
I think right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I got one right. Damn it.
Well done. David Marquez says could not be reached.
Oh, thank you. So I'm thinking these 2 are the best,
Haven't heard of them.
the best of the bunch. But they kind of age him up a little bit, I think, though. But yeah, so that's my comics for the month plus,
Cool.
or the last 2 weeks plus Firestar, Fire Girl.
You ordered that, you said, or you found it somewhere?
I ordered that. Yeah, she was on sale, so something was on her costume there. Yeah, so I ordered. It was on sale. I always watch, keep
I
them
love
in the
that.
cart.
Card art.
Oh, the card art is great, and I always wait too. See, like there's 10 left or something,
Kenner.
or 5 left, and it was never Kenner.
The card art on those Kenner ones are really nice, and they put Kenner because they're like, what if they'd made? That's what it's like. So, what if they'd made these figures in the 80s? The whole premise of them.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay.
Because we know there weren't any Kenner superhero figures.
Yeah, because that's what Retro Blaster was saying. He's like, yeah, why did they put Kenner on it? Because it wasn't. So the idea is, yeah, if it was Kenner. Yep. Some of my figures fell down. Whenever I show stuff, the figures. It's like a cascading effect of dominoes. All you action figure people out there, you know how it goes. Or if you bang into a desk or something, and
Banging on the
Norrin Rad fell over.
Oops.
But he's the wrong gender anyway, so he should be eliminated.
Yes. That's cool. Well, there you go. Cool, man.
Yeah.
See, you had you'd forgot you'd had new comics.
I mean, I know I had them, but I forgot that if I had shown them. So
Yeah,
I forgot
no.
if I existed or
Right,
didn't
'cause you did-
exist. So.
Yeah, you did. So you didn't have any last week. So
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you showed the omnibus though. Remember?
I did show the omnibus. Yeah, it's just your memory. You get old and you just can't remember shit anymore.
Yep. As far as I can remember.
I'm like no, so I don't think I did. You're right. Yeah. So
RR says says Clobby, Ron Mars was a bit of a douchebag. I agree with that. To a friend of mine who was a big fan of his GL stuff and Kyle Rayner. Ugh, hate Kyle Rayner. I despise that revisionist crap. Do you have any experience with Mars, good or bad? I never met him, fortunately, but I will say this to you, RR. I hate Kyle Rayner. And I hate. I've never read anything good, but I've only read one good comic. There was an okay sort of comic by Ron Mars. It was a short story in one of the Star Wars Tales issues or whatever. For the most part, I don't like him. I hate Kyle Rayner. I hate the fact that they decided, the jackasses at DC with that Xerox hour crap, not only to turn Hal Jordan, the greatest Green Lantern of all time, into a villain, an evil murdering villain, the Parallax, but they made him murder the Green Lantern Corps. They wanted there to be one Green Lantern Corps, and that's Kyle Rayner. And
Kyle Rayner had. I know you missed it, but he had all the power of the Green Lantern battery at one point. So he was the most ultimate Green Lantern there is, and he actually saved the Corps. I'm just repeating what Mr. Mars wrote. But
he sucks.
Here's
I hate him.
Kyle. Here's your
let him burn. So I hate Kyle Rayner.
Artist.
Why do you have that?
Kyle.
It sucks.
Because I collect everything.
That's not a thing. That doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist, yeah.
And so I think Mars sucks, and he's also hey, Courtney. What's up, Courtney? Good to see you.
Hey, Courtney.
But I guess my opinion of Mars is very low. I think he's a jackass. He also says a lot of dumb crap on the twats. He gets very political, and he's a bigot in that respect. So he can kiss the baby. You can kiss the baby.
Kiss the ring.
Yeah, girlfriend in the fridge was a bit. So here's the thing about the whole the women in fridge thing, Matthew. Yes, I believe it was what's his face, Ron Mars that wrote that.
Yeah.
Story with the girlfriend, like it was Kyle Rayner's girlfriend was murdered and put in the fridge, and then Gail Simone and all these other women whined about it, calling it women in refrigerators and all this kind of crap. I'm like, well, you know what? Look, it doesn't belong in the Green Lantern comic, I'll give you, but that's not what they were complaining about. They were complaining that some horrible act was done to a woman in a fictional story, because we all know nothing horrible ever happens to men in fictional stories or women in fictional stories. So if you want to say that's inappropriate for a Green Lantern comic, I give it to you. That maybe you shouldn't really. You could, but characters die all the time in comics, and they're killed by the bad guys sometimes. And the hero gets, how many? Yeah, it was. Look,
Gwen's hand cut off.
Gwen Stacy was killed, but she didn't get put in a refrigerator. But somehow that's okay. Then she got killed. How many, characters? Uncle Ben was killed. But no, but as long as you don't put them in a refrigerator, then it's fine, right? But no, the bad guy happened to be an evil piece of trash. Was it Major Disaster or one of those idiots? I think, or whoever it was, maybe. And he stuck her in a refrigerator to taunt the good guy. And it
was brutal.
So what?
Yeah.
Like I say, those same idiot group that's formed about the women in refrigerators thing never once bitched about the horrible crap that happened to, well, first of all, even other female characters, but or any male character. So get out of here with that stuff. Like, yeah, again, I would accept the argument saying they just probably shouldn't put something that disturbing in a comic that was supposed to be read for all readers.
It was horrible. It was
major disaster. It was Major Disaster, right? So it was horrible, but it wasn't. It's nothing to do with sexism. It was just bad taste, and they do horrible shit to dudes and women in fiction. And they acted like this was the only time anything bad ever happened to anybody in a damn comic book before. It's like, shut up with that stuff.
They took it the wrong way. They took it the wrong way, trying to make it a political
right.
thing.
Look, I don't like Ron Mars is a jackass. He apologized, I guess. But
he shouldn't apologize either.
He shouldn't. It's not sexist. It was a little crass. Yeah. And by the way, DC Comics printed it, Gail. People you work for.
That's why you always protect your secret identity too, right?
Right. But the whole point is she's whining about something that the guy wrote it, but DC allowed it to happen, to be produced and published. It was Major Force. Okay. I think it was Major Disaster.
Yeah, it was Major Force. No, Major Force.
Major Force. Sorry. Okay. The evil Captain Adam. Yeah, he's Captain Adam's villain. Okay. Point being, I don't care if it was Cerebus the Aardvark, because he got, by the way, he did something pretty disgusting in the comic, but it was an adult comic book at least. So the fact that she's whining about it, well, and she made this big movement about how, and I remember she made this list of bad things that were done to women in comics, fictional stories. That I'm like, okay, you can make if you really want to play that game, you can make a list twice as long about men having horrible things happen to them too. It's not sexist. It's just people writing stories. I mean, in fiction, people do evil shit to each other, just like in real life, by the way.
Yep.
And you're gonna whine about it and say it's not sexist. It's so stupid. That's where the SJW movement, one of the early, those were in the early days of it. So yeah, and so that's what I was asked. So Ron Mars shouldn't have to apologize for that. He didn't. It wasn't sexism. He thought he was being edgy, having something horrible happen to his character.
Yeah,
because horrible shit happens to the heroes sometimes, right?
Yeah, it was just trying to be. I mean, of course, you could mention Sue Dibney and Identity Crisis, right?
Yeah, Identity Crisis is worse than that.
Yeah,
that had no place in a superhero comic.
That was horrific too. Yeah.
Infinity. Yeah, Wolverine gets tortured and disemboweled every other episode. No one complains. Says RR. Yeah.
Yep. Well, because he's invincible practically. So yeah. So he takes the most damage. Yep.
Right.
So, like if you ever did have a real life superhero fight, I mean, Cyclops ain't lasting that long, in my opinion. Wolverine. It's the characters like Wolverine or Colossus or everyone that doesn't have a super powered defense or shield, or they're just gonna get sliced and diced, or something bad is gonna happen to them awfully quickly. But
yeah, I mean.
But we love our comic book world. Yeah, we just love our comic book world, and
we watch movies with way worse shit in that. We read stories and books, and Infinity exactly. But people like Gail Simone, and by the way, she writes. I mean, I don't read any of her crap. I'm pretty sure she must have, since she wrote Birds of Prey and stuff. Did she ever write villains doing nasty stuff to people? I wonder. I bet she did.
I mean, I did like Birds of Prey, but yeah, I guess she shouldn't have had the women. Shouldn't have been women heroes weren't able to be attacked then. I guess because they're women. I mean,
right? They got all over Alan Moore for what he did to Barbara Gordon, which I think was sucked and shouldn't have been in a comic, but they did it and it stuck. By the way, but they didn't even change it back. Moore said he didn't think it was going to be permanent. He figured it's a comic book.
Did he think it was like an Elseworld thing, or?
I don't know so much that. I think he just said, look, in comics, nobody stays dead. Why would they stay crippled like that? I mean,
yeah.
He didn't expect that. And it became a thing, and people like it, Oracle and all that stuff. They put it to what some consider to be, interesting use. But yeah, Identity Crisis was, it's awful. What was happening to Sue Dibney in Identity Crisis sucks. Brad Meltzer's a moron. But you know what? He's a jackass, but he didn't. It wasn't his decision to publish the comic. DC could have said, "Nah, no, we're not doing that."
Yep.
This doesn't fit. People. Was it? Manny says, "People are in fridges. Screws fall all the time. The world is an imperfect place, or so I heard." He's quoting the Breakfast Club. Hey, the next screw that falls out around here is going to be you.
Well, they can help you survive a nuclear war, thankfully. So,
yeah. Yes, Affinity is definitely a Breakfast Club reference. So, yeah, I just can't say when people whine about stuff like that. I mean, don't read.
We can whine about not liking it, but not making.
No, not liking it. Yeah, but I mean,
not liking it. One thing versus making it an issue.
Sexism. I mean, it was sexism. Yeah. Like not sexism. It was just it's bad taste, I guess. If you want to, I mean, it's a matter of taste. I guess. So yes, it was. Yeah. It's silly on their part. Like they just want something to look. They want something to complain about. Well, I've been complaining about shit all night here tonight. Fine. I mean, but she did a movement to try to stop them from being able to do that kind of stuff in comics if they want.
Yeah.
Or whatever, and if Final Crisis.
When I read it, I was just saying when I was buying that comic as it was coming out, collected Green Lantern for many years, and yeah, that I take it as that a political thing. I took it as a a horrible event, and I was kind of shocked by it. But that was what they wanted to do to the character early on, to put him through hell and kind of make him go through his trial by fire as a Green Lantern. And now since it's become a trope, or they have all these kind of like lists of women being mistreated in comics. So it happens, but like you said, it happens to the guys too. So
It happens to everybody.
yeah,
In fiction, famous in real life, horrible shite happens to everybody. This goes back to like when all that gamer crap was going, with like the Anita Snarkeesian and shit, and she was complaining about there were games like women were getting shot up and crazy crap, terrible stuff was happening to them. And a guy did a video, said, "Yeah, women got shot in this video game." She was complaining about it, like some guy was running around just shooting people. Yeah, well, yeah. Guess what? Men were getting shot too. What's your point? Is this?
yeah.
All she cared about was that women were like, okay, that's not sexist at all. But yeah. So anyway, it's just a bunch of idiocy. And comics are, well, comics are great as long as they're old ones, because new ones suck. So we have a lot of fun reviewing them. Like I said, we had a lot of fun reviewing Legion comics tonight on J-Man's channel, and got Fantastic Four coming up. Yeah, so I don't know. Tonight I was going to review a comic, then all this Superman costume nonsense came out. Superman. I thought you were going to play it. No,
well, I missed it. I missed my timing.
Yeah, it's
I was off on the but not now. Now we have to play it.
Superman.
Yeah,
it's a quick and good one. Yep.
I like it. Everybody's quoting Breakfast Club in the chat.
Yeah.
Does Barry Manilow know that you raid his wardrobe? Or how about the other? Show Dick some respect. Not even close, bud. That's a fun movie. That's a quotable movie right there.
Oh, very quotable. Very quotable. Yeah,
that would be toxic.
And a good message. Yeah.
Think there would be a Toxic Tuesday candidate, or I don't know.
Maybe. I think 16 Candles is maybe even the more toxic one these days, right?
Yeah, I mean, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Oh God, that was cancelable stuff.
Now they've talking about canceling these movies too. Yeah, they're talking about that's akin to the fridge concept that we're talking about. Yeah.
Fridging. They call it fridging. What was it?
What
they calling it? They were calling it fridging or something.
Yeah, they're calling it fridging.
So
yeah.
Every time, if you do something like if you're a writer and you make something terrible happen to a female character in the story, it's fridging or something.
Yeah.
Weird science takes the cake, but it's freaking awesome.
Yeah, that's the movie we have to do. Yep.
Weird science
Tuesday.
Oh,
what is the movie for tomorrow? What is
Dodgeball?
It's Dodgeball, right? Yep. That's the classic.
Tomorrow night, Toxic Tuesday, Dodgeball. I love that movie. That's hilarious. I watched that not too long ago again. That's a funny movie.
Yeah, it is a good one. Yeah. And then we're gonna do basic. I suggested basketball as
basketball.
That's those two back to back wouldn't be so bad.
There's a missile in the house. So what's going to be after that? You're going to do all sports movies this month, or what?
I don't know what the plan is. Nick, we kind of give Nick some suggestions, and he's the boss. He's the captain there, so he picks them. And once in a while, we not overrule him, but say, "Oh, we really want to do this movie," or like we talk to Tom and trying to pick the best Burt Reynolds movies to do. And there's too many, so we're gonna come back to Burt later, of course.
Hooper. I'm gonna keep suggesting Hooper, and I'm gonna keep suggesting Used Cars to him. Used Cars is so toxic, man. I
know you love that movie. Yeah, I don't think many people have seen that.
But not many people have seen Gate. You guys did White Lightning the other day or whatever.
Not many people have seen that either. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and no one remembers Hooper either. But
well, that's the prequel to the Gate. What's the movie? Gator, or was it
Gator? And then there was White Lightning and Gator. Gator was
White Lightning first, I think. Yeah.
I think so. Gator, yeah. We saw Gator in the theater when we were kids.
Yeah. White Lightning is a damn good movie. Yeah.
Oh yeah, those the '70s movies were great. I mean, they're a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I watched because we were watching. You know what? Because you saw that Fall Guy movie, whatever. I'll
Yeah.
tell you, like I watched the pilot of the Fall
I
Guy.
just watched
the
the
other night.
pilot too. I've watched the pilot today too,
Yep.
for fun. I'd started watching, and the funny thing is, well, sorry to get sidetracked, but Howie, I looked it up. He's 32, and Lee Majors is 42. So he's supposed to be playing a college kid. I'm like, Howie looks kind of old right now, and he's.
Well, he'd been. At that point, he'd been in like 7 colleges.
That's true too, but he's still 32.
So he was around. The college students do that, but it would happen. You know, a certain thing where I watched it on. You know, I think I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Only has the first and third season.
Well, that's fixed now, though.
No. But what I'm saying is, so I was just messing around looking at the episodes. There's a third season episode that has a crossover. Hey, RTNZ says, good comic writers do shocking things, but make it meaningful. Starlin's Death of Captain Marvel, Claremont's God Loves Man Kills. By the way, I love Dodgeball. Yep. Thank you so much for that super chat. I do appreciate that. You're too kind. Let's see what we can give him here.
Get those nerds! Nerds! What?
Cass, Super Cass.
Everything that guy just says is bullshit. Thank you.
So there's an episode in the third season. Did you know there's a crossover with another show?
No. I mean, I don't recall
Well,
that.
Glenn-
Remember?
Well, Glenn Larson made the Fall Guy.
Yeah.
He made another show that only lasted like 12 episodes called Trauma Center. And there's an episode that starts in the Fall Guy, and the second part is on Trauma Center. Trauma Center had Lou Ferrigno.
No way.
James Naughton. From Planet of the Apes
Pepper.
TV show. No,
that
James,
that,
his brother.
that,
David's
James,
the one from Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
But his brother, it was his brother though.
Brother,
And then
yeah.
a couple other people, I don't know who they are, but it had Lou Ferrigno as a regular. Lasted 12 episodes. I was looking on YouTube to see if I could find that episode that it continued into, but I can't find it, so I can't watch the second part. But I watched
Is it the second episode?
Yeah, the Trauma Center one's the second episode, but they're on the first one. And then it continues into that, although they concluded the story in the. So I don't know. I guess.
So where does it conclude in Trauma Center?
It concludes in Trauma Center, like the second episode of Trauma Center. But I think Colt must be in that one or something, even though the story could finished in that. But it is a crossover with it because Glenn A. Larson made that show. It just didn't last.
Okay. Yeah.
But Lou Ferrigno's the ambulance driver guy, and of course he's got Hulk strength. He talks. He's not playing a deaf character, but like how he gets, in his crash and he gets hurt. And Lou Ferrigno goes when they're trying to get him out of there. He basically pulls the damn door off of the car. It's like, okay, he's the Hulk.
Well, that was adrenaline. Yep. Oh yeah, they're showing pictures of him on Trauma Center with David James Naughton. I keep saying
James
David.
Naughton. Yeah, David's
Here, I share my screen just for fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
Show these pictures because it's got Lou Ferrigno in it, so it's comic book related. Then
that's true. Lou Ferrigno is comic book related, adjacent.
So here's Trauma Center.
That's right.
So it looks like it's a take. Is it kind of a take on Emergency? I guess in some ways.
It's pretty much that. Naughton's a surgeon. He's like and he rides around in the ambulance with him.
That guy looks. Who's this?
He's there to when they to operate on people on the out there. So he's a surgeon, a brain surgeon. He's a trauma surgeon who goes in the ambulance with him.
Dorian Harewood. Where have I
that
seen
guy
him
looks
before?
familiar? Yeah.
He looks so familiar. Yeah.
Yeah. Episode 2 called Notes of Courage was the Fall Guy crossover. That's right, but you can't. It's not on DVD or anything like that. Hey, Lenrod. Hey. So I couldn't find it, but that's from the Fall Guy
Lee
part.
Majors, yeah. There's Lee Majors, yeah.
Just silly, but
it looks. Just no. That's a fun thing. In 1983, yep. So about 10 years after Emergency, yeah. I always love these action shows, and
yeah.
It looks like John Bon Jovi.
I like James Naughton because I loved him on Planet of the Apes TV show. But we'll never see the episodes because I try.
Yeah,
They're not even on.
Yeah,
YouTube.
he was good on the apes. Yeah, he was good on the apes. Yep. So there's only let's see, were there only
12 or whatever. Well, there's a
12
premiere, then there was 12 episodes, I guess. So yeah, Dr. Boncho.
Yeah, let's see. What do we got here? Yeah. 13 episodes. Yep. So did not
13.
made it through half a season. Yep. So interesting trivia there. And then if we go back to the Fall Guy, I got to go Fall Guy here.
The Fall Guy's not on DVD other than like the first season.
Yeah,
and there's some Region 2 versions of it,
which is nuts. I mean,
you think with the movie coming out, they would try to put the show out, but then they don't do that anymore. But they used to do that.
Yeah, so we were talking to Tom last night, and we're like, "What's going on here?" I mean, you gotta have you gotta have the Fall Guy ready for TV. I mean, for DVDs. So let's see if we do first season. Now, Farrah Fawcett, I was watching the episode tonight.
Yeah, she's on.
My God, she's on as a cameo at the end, and I guess they had I mean, she's just at the end. Well, the end of the episode, she's on. I mean, this picture doesn't do it just. Or for mine,
the pilot,
the pilots, and
that was after they were already divorced.
Yeah, so they're doing a stunt, and then he does a stunt. And
I watched it again last night. Yeah.
Last night, right? And he's dressed up, wearing a wig and a dress to look like, just from a distance. And my God, even on a bad quality scan, I mean, it's just unbelievable how gorgeous Farrah Fawcett was. I mean, just ridiculous how pretty she was. And God bless her soul. Yeah, she cancer. She died of cancer at the age of 62. What was that, like 10, 15 years ago now? But she gorgeous. I mean, just unbelievably pretty. Yep. So
RRTN said not going to see the movie. Only Lee Majors as the Fall Guy. Great show. It was a fun show. I mean, it's kind of fun to go watch. I watched a couple of them. I watched that one last night. It was kind of funny.
I mean, it's a throwaway show.
Yeah,
but it's just good, wholesome entertainment. A-Team is better, but you got Heather Thomas. You got a cool truck. I
love her.
Cool vehicle.
Love her. Whew.
She's good in it. Yep.
He's a goofy. He's good. He went to do a show after this that only lasted 6 episodes called The Wizard, where David Rappaport, who's a midget or a small person actor, plays this scientific genius inventor and they call him the Wizard on there. And he's like he meets him. He's like this FBI bodyguard or whatever foolishness. Then Douglas Barr was on that, but I don't think he's been in anything else.
Yeah, I was looking up his resume. A lot of small parts on TV shows.
Wizard didn't last too long.
Yeah, he was fun on that show, but I just thought it was,
You saw The Wizard?
I don't remember seeing that, no, but I think too is watching this is when you're a younger kid watching some of this stuff, you don't notice the age difference or how, everyone just looks so much older to you. Like a college kid would just look so much older anyway to me. But then when I'm watching it now, it's like, they always have like the 25-year-olds or what was that, Johnny Depp's first TV show when they're all undercover.
21
Jump Street. Yeah, they're all like, like 30-year-olds in the high school. Of course, they were playing cops or were supposed to be older, but yeah.
R remembers The Wizard. There you go. Yeah. So yeah, it's fun to go watch something. Erin Gray was on an episode of Fall Guy. Woo, woo, woo.
Yeah, they had a lot of guest stars, but yeah, God bless Farrah. She was.
I remember Richard Burton was on this first episode of the second season. It was kind of wow, and he was in it a lot. Like in that first pilot, because James Coburn was actually in it for a minute as himself. Robert Wagner was in that second one by himself himself.
Yeah. Colts Angels, so they did like a joke on Charlie's Angels, So eventually I'll go rewatch the whole series, I guess, and hopefully they're going to release it on DVD or put it on a
So the first 2
Geek and I said it was going to be on Friendly TV, yeah, but just only the first season is in the States, so that's
the second season wasn't released at all.
Well, someone said it was only released Region 2 in England. which is really
That's
weird.
Weird.
Really, really weird. So the movie was kind of fun, but it has nothing to do with the Fall Guy in terms of
It's not even his son or anything.
yeah, there's nothing, there's no he does have a cameo at the end with Heather Thomas.
What does he do?
He's a cop in the end. He's arresting the baddie.
Oh God.
Which is kind of funny because he did play a cop. He did pretend to be a cop and he's a bounty hunter, so this is, like a dog the bounty hunter show.
Is the guy as the Ryan Gosling character a bounty hunter?
No, that's what's crazy about it. So he's actually working as a stuntman.
Is he Colt Seavers?
He's Colt Seavers. He's a stuntman, and then very, very minor spoiler. It's not gonna. He gets hurt doing a stunt, so he's got to stop being a stuntman for a long time, and it messes up his relationship with the Emily Blunt character. So it's a lot of relationships. There's a lot of banter between the two. Kind of reminded me a little bit of trying to do like a moonlighting relationship. Banter with
hey, Mr. Gas
David
Mask.
Hello,
Mr. Gas Mask. So yeah, I got you. I'm just curious.
And the other vibe I got from it too was, it's they're doing a movie, within a movie. So nowhere, it's not like a Tropic Thunder. Don't get me wrong. We just watched it for Toxic Tuesday, but in terms of filming a movie within a movie, they've got that action going on all the time. So in that way, it's a little bit Tropic Thunder-esque, where some of the stuff turns real when it's not supposed to be real. And they did copy a couple of the twists from the TV show, in the pilot, where he's got the gun that shoots blanks in the pilot, and he gets shot and he pretends to be dead. They did do something like that in the movie. So that was one of the few. I don't know if they'd watch the series again.
I wonder
it was an accident.
if Ryan Gosling ever watched the show and said, "Wow, I want to be Colt Seavers on the TV show." Yeah. But he goes after a guy, sort of like he goes after sort of like bounty hunting, I guess, right? Or no?
Well, it becomes a crime mystery, basically, a whodunit.
Okay.
And it's got the typical frame for doing something. Your hero gets framed for something into Mission Impossible. So it's really, like in the pilot, Colt Seavers does. Is he framed? Is he framed in that pilot, or is he?
No. He's just
no.
He's after looking at Eddie Albert. Accidentally ran down a kid.
Yeah.
He's the sheriff of this big town and stuff.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny.
The musician, the musician,
yeah, his friend, Country Joe,
Lou Rawls.
Lou Rawls
he's getting framed for something else in the beat.
Percy Rodriguez was in it too, the Star Trek actress. Well, Commodore Stone.
Yeah.
So this show got so silly. One of the later, I don't know how later on. I remember I didn't watch it much. I watched it on and off once in a while. I saw one where Colt Seavers had a fight with this samurai guy. And you're thinking, well, this is silly. And he beat him. I'm like, wait a minute. This guy ain't much of a samurai, like badass or martial arts or whatever it was, one of these at this temple or something. Like, he just, okay. Colt Seavers could beat that guy. Ooh, yeah. Marky Post,
my computer broke now. It's stuck. The mouse isn't working. It's stuck. It's not working.
Marky Posty.
Well, that was always that story. I always remember, like, she was always, dressed up, or not. I shouldn't say frumpy, but they didn't try to show her off in any way, shape, or form. And then one of the episodes, there was an excuse. They got her to bikini. I was like, wowzers.
Yeah, buddy.
Because Heather Thomas was the famous, kind of like a Farrah Fawcett.
She had posters.
Posters, yeah. So I don't know if
I may have had that Heather Thomas poster.
The Heather Thomas poster was famous, but I don't know if Marky posted. I think she was just an actress. I don't know if she did posters, but she could have. I mean,
oh God, yeah.
Lindsay Wagner, it looks like there.
Lindsay Wagner was on an episode.
Yep. I think this third season. I think she was on one.
You think that wasn't a Bionic Man, $60 Man episode?
Oh, Fall Guy, Devil's Island. Yeah, I think that's the third season.
Okay.
So yeah, they were fun. Yeah, they were fun. You know, they weren't stupid either. Like Lindsay Wagner is reunited with Lee Majors. Why don't we?
Yeah,
do
well, the
it?
Bionic Woman was already canceled.
Yeah, they did come back and do some a few made for TV movies. I
They
think
did a
what,
couple
like
of them that were weird because they were.
Yeah.
When they did like the Return of the $6 Million Man and Bionic Woman thingy or whatever, they had a kid or something, and they had some kind of weird, like, organization that they'd been fighting that never was on the show.
Oh,
Like,
and they just invented it.
Like, like Thrush or something, not quite Thrush, but
Yeah.
sort of like that. Yeah. Who had a Catherine Bach Daisy Duke poster? Well, I'm not going to say I didn't.
I only had a picture of her shorts. I didn't have anything else. Yeah. No, just kidding.
Yes, sir.
The Daisy Dukes.
Buddy Hackett.
Yeah, classic.
Wow, man, Buddy Hackett died a long time ago.
He was funny. Yeah.
Well, what can you do? It was a goofy, fun show. But 18 was better, but this was kind of funny.
And they had some great stunts in the show, and I think that's in the Fall Guy movie. I think they tried to do as many. I was reading, tried to do as many practical stunt effects as they could. So of course, the Fall Guy always had some great stunts too. Like, this is crazy. I mean, guy's really doing that. He's on the outside of the airplane there. So
yeah,
couldn't pay me to do
all
that.
the stuff they put out on DVD, and they won't put like anything but the first season of this.
Very weird. Yeah,
I don't understand this. No,
and especially with the movie come out, as you said. Yeah.
It's crazy talk.
Yeah.
Well,
you want to take the screen down now?
Yeah, well, whatever you can. They wanted Sandra Bullock. Yeah, Sandra Bullock was in one of those. Was on one of those $6 Million Man, Bionic Woman movies. Just got my first Logan's Run poster. Am I late to the Jenny? I got to. Oh, Jenny. I mean, obviously, Farrah Fawcett was in that too. In Logan's Run, right?
She was in Logan's Run, yeah. I forget.
Wasn't Farrah Fawcett in Logan's Run, Cap? I think so. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. She was, sir. Yep. All right, then. Well, my friends,
right, let's go. Let's turn this off. No one wants to see.
I don't think there's a Fall Guy comic book, so I was cheating there. But
yeah. Oh, you should have seen the next photo. Good thing I took the screen down.
Good, yes.
It was even better than the one before. So
The Bionic shows. My favorite episode was the one from the Bionic Woman, the episode where she needed to disable the Doomsday device. Didn't $6 Million Man pop up on one of those to help her?
He was on the.
I know what you're talking about. Wes Cagle. I know that episode too. There's some building.
He definitely was. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he definitely was on the Bionic. Yeah, because her origin happens on the Bionic, on the $6 Million Man show, doesn't it?
What?
She becomes the Bionic Woman on his show, doesn't she? Jamie.
Yeah.
If I'm remembering,
she had a
bad accident,
skydiving accident.
Yeah,
man. $6 Million Man when I was a kid was must see TV. Man, your ass was in front of a TV on Friday nights, whatever, when they started running it. I mean, first you had the movie, sure. Yeah, the movies for sure. The movies were first, but then the TV show. Boom, 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 boom. Blake, I can't hold. She's breaking up. She's breaking up. Here comes the rattle. I can't. Anyway, well, my friends, thank you for being here tonight with us. Appreciate it. Any final words before I get us out of here?
No, well, thank you for having me. I hope.
Thank you.
Hope Superman gets a better costume, and we'll catch you during the week for some late night watch parties, and maybe we'll do the Wednesday night watch party Cold Check, and then Thursday we'll do the Blake 7. So, but
yes, sure.
I'm looking forward to hanging out with all you guys, and I got to do that change the batteries video on my. I can't believe that I didn't know the times like push the button.
Yeah, well done.
Thank you, Tom.
For Tom, yeah, way to go, Tom.
I'm like, what? How did I miss that? Yeah.
Joe Dog, thank you, Joe Dog. Well, listen, let me show notes and shout outs, and we'll get out of here. First, let's see. Again, tomorrow night I should be on with Tom and the gang at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time on Midnight's Edge After Dark with Tom and those great fillers and peeps over there. Then of course Wednesday night, the wild card. Wednesday night, of course, and then the clubhouse Thursday nights, and obviously Wednesday night. If Loki has his comic book roundtable at 7, I'll be there. But then after that, I'll be with the wild card. Then Thursday night, the clubhouse. After I'm on with Tom and Midnight's After Dark Boys over for that. And then Friday, we're back with Fearless. This is Fearless. That was the Miller one. With Fantastic Fridays. Review J-Man, Sean, and myself reviewing all of the Jack King Kirby, the legendary King of Comics seminal run on the world's greatest comic magazine, Fantastic Four 1 through 102. All 6 of the first 6 annuals, that is 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then the great 32 flavors of Dick Weiser with the Friday Night Comic Shop Talk Boys, 8:30 p.m. Central. The great D. Bud Martin joins us where we review 4 more issues of Amazing Spider-Man, the John Romita run we're on now. That is, of course, Amazing Spider-Man 45 through 48. And then the Saturday night Star Trek, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, same Trek time, same Clobberin channel. Looking forward to that. Of course, 4 more episodes of Star Trek Deep Space Nine. And again, there's no geekery this week, right?
No geekery, yep.
But
I'll not be able
we'll
to
be back in 2 weeks.
But I shall return.
No geekery 10 p.m. Eastern this
Sorry
week.
to disappoint. Yep.
But it'll be the following week. We'll be back. And next Monday night, I'll be here with, of course, Earth B with Great J-Man. So our shout outs, of course, is as follows: Eric K., Chris Berger, D-Bad Martin, Lord Thought, J-Man, Maximum Redstone, Fanty Outsidey, Larry, Mighty Steady Kal-El. And I want to thank you all for being with us tonight. It means a lot to me, and you all rock it. And thank you out there who lurked, and those who've watched or listened on a download or over there on Twitch or X. It is much appreciated. I hope this is a good enough start to your week. Have a fantastic week, everybody. And we will see you on the Clobberins. So hope to see you soon. Good night, everybody.
Clobberin time! Clobberonimo!
The word is given.
Groovy. Clobberonimo!
You have to set an example even in the face of stupidity. Now, everybody that reads comic books knows that Kirby Silver Surfer is the only true Silver Surfer.
I just love clobberin time!